This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. This show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's The Show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It is another Tuesday night in the Valley of the Sun. It's a very chilly temperature outside. It's very breezy. It's like a blast furnace of 105 degree temperature. It's a little cooler than it was a few days ago. We were at 119, I think we had a couple days ago. Is that right? Something?
No, I think it topped out at 118.
Well, when you're at that level, I mean.
When
and
Satan
they're like, it's
showed
the
up,
fifth highest temperature ever recorded. Well,
Right.
we only hit 124, so there's only six
hot's
numbers.
fucking hot.
So
Yeah.
we never climbed to like 122. I never stopped long enough at 122 to declare it the official temperature.
The devil showed up and the temperature spiked.
Yeah.
And that was Saturday.
And we should send it back to Georgia.
Oh my God, is
Yeah.
that so good? Like, that's stupidly good.
What? Oh, the sampling of the banana bread.
No, that's
Take
stupid.
one for later.
Oh,
Or take
well,
two, or
take-
take seven.
Yeah, and
I
how
don't care.
warm is
I mean,
it?
it's here
Come
all
on.
night. Yeah, just keep it
Oh my
there.
God.
Just came out of the car.
Oh my God.
I
Oh,
don't
a
give a
minute.
shit where
Do you have
it
an
is.
opportunity?
No, it's
Yeah.
actually
If you're just joining us, it's a.
Yes, exactly. That's what I do.
We're
with
just
my
handing out
coffee.
food right now in the studio.
Wow, Kat, that's
It's a
real
food-
good.
food beverage show again.
Marnie brought a
I'm glad
lovely
you like-
sea salt pre-popped popcorn bag. Al has his almonds and spicy wasabi nut.
His kibble
whatever the hell
over
it-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. My catnip.
I sliced up a watermelon and a cantaloupe, and Kat,
Wow.
in the oven of her Dodge Caravan, baked a loaf of banana bread.
It took
Car is
11
now an
hours,
easy
but
back oven. Yeah.
You
real
actually
good.
you win tonight's food challenge, Kat Carlson.
Wait a minute, I made this.
air popped it, didn't you?
I have it in my car.
Oh shit!
Oh, I still have my air popper, and it is one of my greatest possessions ever. And for a while, it was hard to find. I had to go on like eBay and bid for one to get one back. But I'm back on board with the air
Oh,
poppers.
thank God. The only thing I think you're missing in your kitchen is that Bun coffee maker thing you had that could make 40 gallons of coffee in 7 seconds.
Yeah, the problem was the shakes. When that died, we had a brief service and said, probably for the best.
Maybe for the best. I'll get more sleep now.
I just need to finish this last pot of coffee. That's
Yes.
yummy.
Oh my
Sweet
heavens.
Jesus, San Fernando Valley was 122 a few days ago.
Oh.
And actually, I'm not sure when Annette pops in if he's here tonight. I don't think we talked about it, that they recorded the highest temperature
Like
like
ever.
on Earth
Oh.
like a month or so ago.
No, it couldn't have
in
been
India.
on Earth.
No,
Oh, in
that's-
India.
In India. No,
Oh.
it was. And they added humidity.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
No, thank you.
Like people were, it was a kind of a crisis.
Jenny, I'm sure it's a
Sounds
lovely
terrible.
85 where you are. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I know. That's that.
Hi, Mom. Mom just popped in.
Hi.
Mama died.
Hi, guys.
Oh, my gosh.
Hello.
I
What
don't...
was Kat, since you're in charge of all Google,
Sure, tell me.
what is the hottest temperature ever recorded on Earth? Can you
134,
shut up?
Death
Really?
Valley.
Really? Do you already know that?
Yep.
Why do you know that?
I feel pretty good about it.
Okay.
Stand by.
We're going to go live here.
It's true.
Oh, it's true. Look at that. I can read it from here. Well, just the bigger font. I can't read anything below the 134F.
Well, that's good.
Before that, it was Libya.
Also,
Really? Did you watch some CNN documentary about global warming and the myth, the man, the magic?
I already
Did you
Googled
do
Oh, you
the
already
Google?
Googled it. Got
Very
it.
nice.
I see.
Because we were talking about how we thought it was like Libya or something like that.
Okay.
It was
Oh,
Death
it's
Valley, yeah.
been a long time. It was measured on July 10th, 1913.
Well, we're just 100 years past it. I mean, it's
It's
going
time.
up. It's
Yeah, it
time.
is. It's time.
It's cyclical.
It sure
Global
is.
warming. This happened 100 years ago.
Right.
Oh,
So
hogwash.
we're in a
Hogwash.
cycle.
Hogwash.
I've never heard of such thing. Bunch
Yeah.
of happy horse shit.
And there really wasn't a lot of greenhouse gases going back in 13. Not as much as there are
Not
today.
so much.
Not as much
Not
today.
so much.
Yeah, the old Model Ts didn't crank out as much as
Well,
the other thing.
they cranked out a lot, but there weren't as many.
Right,
of
right,
them.
as many. It's what, yeah. There weren't as many to crank out. Very, very true. Well, hi again, everybody. This is show 267. It's Tuesday, June 21st, at least where we are. Wherever you are, happy day, whatever day it is.
Hello,
oh, by the way,
meow.
and I didn't see you post one today, Kat. I thought you'd be
Oh.
on board. I heard rumors on the old Facebooks,
Ooh.
which I found on the interwebs,
Yeah.
that today's National Selfie Day.
You know what? I heard that too, and so I found an e-card that said, Happy National Selfie Day to someone whose face I've seen more than mine, and I posted it on Ron Rogers' page.
And I think that's fair.
I thought that was appropriate.
Celebrate responsibly.
Right. Because if anyone posts more selfies than I do, it'll be
Ron Rogers, and if it's two people in one, it's him and Trish. Because those two motherfuckers,
Yeah.
well, or Gina.
She's kind of tied for Gina, though.
Yeah, very much so. Tied in a very special episode of Selfies with Ron Rogers. She's tied. I was almost home, Ron. I was almost
And
home.
it's International Yoga Day.
Oh no, I saw you post about that. Now, how are we celebrating that on this very
By
show?
not doing yoga.
No
Yeah.
yoga.
No yoga.
I do not
no
have-
meditation.
Is that all right if I've done some earlier today?
I'm
Okay.
happy for you.
Do Kegels count?
Does
Sure.
lifting,
Judges, wait.
does lifting
Judges
popcorn
rule?
to
Sure,
my hand?
yeah.
I'm going to allow it. Yeah.
Allowed, all right.
You're stretching or something. So I have an update.
Oh.
Christopher Burt, the weather historian
Amina.
writing for Weather Underground, who shepherded the Libya reading's 2012 disqualification, believes that
Libya
the
got
1913
disqualified?
Death Valley reading is a myth and is at least 2.2 to 2.8 degrees Celsius or 4 or 5 degrees Fahrenheit too high.
Why?
As do other weather historians, but proposes that the highest reliable recorded temperature on Earth is still at Death Valley, but is instead 129 degrees, recorded 5 times in 60, 98, 2005, 2007, and 2013.
I still just cannot fucking imagine 129 degrees. I wasn't here.
At a certain point, you're not outside anyways.
can't,
It's like the
right,
difference between
exactly.
negative 15 and negative 30. You're not there. Yeah.
Somebody was outside, but I mean,
The thermometer was outside.
Thermometer.
I mean, I was here. I wasn't here for 122 in 122. How many years ago? I think it was just before I moved
June
here.
26, 1990.
Yeah, it was a couple years before I moved to Phoenix when they got to. And I don't remember.
We did all of this on Sunday.
Oh, gotcha. But it was.
I'm like,
I mean,
oh, yeah.
obviously, I've
That's
been
fair.
through.
Yeah.
I've been through some insanely hot. It's just. It is. At some point, you're just like, fuck it. My
Hello,
my
Luis
lovely
Antonio.
mount for my phone that sticks to my
Who's
windshield.
Luis Antonio? Do we know?
Yeah.
Did it fall?
Well, it just gave the there's that rubber suction cup inside that sticks it to the windshield. Gave up. Said nope, we're done. Just
Oh,
fell
yeah.
apart in about 17 pieces in my truck. So I'll have to get a new one. Actually, I think I'm gonna.
Have we met Luis Antonio before?
Where in the hell are we? Oh, hello, Luis Antonio.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I have a
wasn't
different.
sure if it was,
I have a
when
different
I was
Luis on my
calling
list
it.
from Brazil, but it's he spells his Luis, not
Hello,
Luiz.
hello,
So
hello.
And the NSA.
Yeah, I
welcome
have
aboard.
LUIZ from Sao Paulo, Brazil. That's
Oh,
what I
maybe-
have. I don't know if that's the same one. or
Maybe
not,
the
but-
person that did my transcriptions has made an error.
Well, I don't know. It's a
Couldn't
school
be.
teacher who might have
Yeah.
transcribed.
Couldn't be.
Luis, do tell us where you're from and how you found us, and a picture if you can post one.
A selfie, if you
There
will.
you
Oh, a
have it.
selfie on national selfie. That's why I'm asking.
Yep.
Right.
That's it.
This
Yeah.
is
Or a
National
yoga
Selfie
pose.
Day. I'm trying to help you.
Oh, another thing you will not find on this show tonight. Speaking of National Yoga Day, no yoga pants.
Well, no.
None.
Those are illegal.
I
Or
think they
pumpkin
should.
spice lattes.
Oh, what's
I know they try to sneak them in.
Rio
They
de
go.
Janeiro.
It's like Dykes and Dogs with yoga pants and pumpkin spice
Just
lattes.
stand
They
in front
just
of a
go
mirror
together.
and say pumpkin spice 3
Like
times.
Ram-
No, white
Okay,
woman
by the way,
shows up.
not all.
like
not all.
Rama Lama Lama Dam.
I'll be 100 years old and you'll tell me that story in the nursing home and I'll still
It's
giggle.
still funny, yeah.
I'll still laugh.
Because they'll still be doing it.
Yeah,
Be afraid.
there's that.
I like it.
Well, aside from sweating to death and making banana bread, Kat Carlson.
Well, I decided to suffer the heat wave by spending all day in bars, restaurants, and theaters.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a
a
lovely
good choice.
Sunday. Just spent entirely eating and drinking, and then we went and saw Newsies,
I saw
Yeah.
your post.
which is very nice. Very
And
nice.
now
From
how
the
did we
cheapest
find,
of
how
cheap
did we
seats.
find the Newsies?
We love it. Yeah, clearly we love it.
Yep.
Well
I
deserved
mean,
to
it's
win
no,
for choreography.
it's no Hamilton.
Listen,
And now was your lead
I-
performer as smiley as he should be?
well, I was sitting
Smiles
in
at
the upper balcony, so
Well, you
he
did-
was.
He could have maybe not had teeth.
I saw your post. I'm like, that's a shitty looking handrail. That fucking all beat up handrail.
That handrail looks like it needs a paint job at the minimum.
And even
like,
I get the dizzies up there.
it's a lot. It's a lot. But no, I've clearly spent entirely too much money this year on theater tickets, so I'm banned from buying anything other than the cheapest seats available.
Right?
Oh.
Which is fine. I'm still
Fair.
gonna just keep spending.
And that's
all
a
my
show
money
that you
on
want to be back a little bit because that choreography.
because of all the choreography. yeah.
yeah, you don't want to be
cool,
too close
too.
and miss sections of it.
Yeah, and that comes out. That turns out really cool when you're sitting so far above it because then you can see like the
Is-
entire formation.
It seems to me that most shows, because obviously they build an entire stage,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like, and I'm sure you both will correct me if I'm woefully wrong, dead center balcony is where you want to be every single fucking time.
It depends on how much choreography there is. Like a show like Les Mis, where no one's dancing, they're all just dying. A little bit
12th
closer.
row center, right.
Yeah,
fair,
a little bit
that's fair.
closer is better. Something like 42nd Street or that. Like Chicago's a very, very small show. They shrink the stage down.
Oh.
And they put the band on stage with them. So it's a very intimate show. A Chorus Line's another one.
Sweeney Todd too, isn't that
Yeah,
one a
Sweeney
really
Todd.
small?
And because there was that whole 80s
Gallagher.
run of where no one was dancing, everyone was just dying. Like every
Oh.
show was just
Right.
death and ruin. Can one of these fucking cats dance? You know what I mean? That kind of shit.
No, I would guess if it's something
And
like
the Phantom of the Opera, if you can get like 2 blocks away watching something else, then you've got prime seats.
now I would assume something like The Color Purple, Raisin in the Sun, that's a lot of dialogue and you're really intent on the character. I'm sure Closer would obviously be better. But I just always think that any show I go see, I want to be. First of all, I don't want anybody fucking in front of me, so balcony cuts that shit off.
Oh yeah, and those are like the Lion King. The balcony is spectacular because the parade. You're not sitting like this watching the parade. The parade kind of happens
Oh, below
beneath
you.
you,
Right.
and then everything comes on stage. And then if depending on what they have for like box seats and stuff like that, they'll have
The
some of the
loge, if
they'll
you
have
will.
they'll have the percussionists in the box seats.
Oh, fun.
Oh,
Like in
cool.
LA, I think at the Pantages they have box seats, and they had the percussionists in there, and they had the birds flying above the audience through
Pardon
the whole
me.
show.
Oh,
Like
very
they had
fun.
puppeteers doing the birds flying. It was a little distracting, but lovely.
Didn't feel like Tippi Hedren in The Birds.
No.
Something
Well,
like that.
you know.
And that's a show that I hated on Broadway, and every time I've seen it on tour, I was like, wow, those are the worst child actors in the world. Like, those 2 kids in the version that Matt and I saw on Broadway were just atrocious. Like, can we have them part of the... Can somebody eat them? Like, I'm sure there's a super predator that can take out a
Somebody
baby
get
lion.
an antelope. Trample these fuckers.
A
But
super
the minute
predator.
those kids grew up, like in the second act, it was delightful. But like almost everybody in our row, because we won the seats in a lottery,
Oh, good.
and we waited outside all day and got picked, and we were all like, anybody really want to stay for the second act of this nonsense?
And boom, it was all better.
Yeah, Heather Headley came out for the second act. They grew
Oh,
but
that's-
it was the worst child actors I've ever endured.
Maybe they picked them in a lottery too.
I think so. I hope they were homeless
So-
or something. They
Maybe
got
they were having
So
a
back to you in the
Who knows?
gamage and in the newsies.
beforehand,
Way up
and their lives
yeah.
got better because they got on Broadway before. It sounds like I was wishing homelessness on small children. Thoughts and prayers.
Very nice. But yeah, no, we had a lovely time. It's you know,
Now is that just a you and Sharon thing? That's
that
not
is
that's
just
not
a
kid
me and
thing.
Sharon thing. It could have been a kid thing. Like I'm kind of picky about what I take them to sometimes. Because I mean, one of them has a tiny attention span, and the other one asks too many questions. So
I'm both of those people, by
yeah,
the way.
right. Do you notice me taking you to a lot of
Yeah.
places?
I see you maybe once a
fair.
week.
No, but I make it a point to take the kids to theater too. We're going to go see Valley Youth Theater do The Little Mermaid this weekend.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it
Yeah.
be great if Titus showed up?
Oh my
Titus
God, that would be
Burgess?
amazing. But he's not gonna.
No, he's not.
No, because it's a small little production. But no, we make sure to take kids to that. Children's theater tends to work really well for us because the shows are a little bit shorter. And so my attention span, God love him, he loves musicals, but my littlest guy will just bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce in his seat to the point where I want to kill him, and I have a lot of patience for him because he's my favorite.
Oh,
And like I can't imagine inflicting that onto an entire row of 78 seats. You know, because it bounces the whole row. So we're picky.
okay,
No,
Fair.
gotcha. Everything else is good though.
everything else. is
Oh my
amazing.
God, fantastic. Ms. Ryer.
Wonderful.
We went to Newsies as well. We went
Oh.
Saturday and we went for the matinee.
I was gonna say you guys went to the matinee, yeah?
Yep, we had it's a great show, and I have like you probably reach over and belt me because I have restless leg a lot of times. And so I had driven Erin down as a surprise, took her to Newsies down in Tucson when it was here a year ago or whatever.
I vaguely remember that.
And so between the drive to get down there and then you're just sitting, right?
Right.
All that, I missed 3/4 of the show. My legs were like, I just had to get up. I was like, I'm not going to bother people. So I was so frustrated. And like I was watching all the tap dance stuff on a little TV out in the lobby. It's
you
just
couldn't
not the
sit
same.
stand in the
sorry.
back?
No, like where it was, where we were sitting and everything. It was just too frustrating to do that. And they were asking me to move, and I was like, just fuck it, you know. So I didn't get to see that. But this time, loaded up on restless leg stuff and tonic water.
Oh, there you go.
And just it was really wonderful to be able to see the whole thing. Fun show. Very fun show.
It is a fun show, and it sold out early because I tried to get tickets a few months ago for the run, and they were like, "This one went." Like we didn't see it coming. They didn't think it was gonna, but luckily that Jeremy Jordan and the soundtrack and all the YouTube clips have really helped sell it. And
there's that '90s nostalgia. Like kids from the '90s seem to be like super nostalgic about a lot of things, and so there was the Disney movie with.
And luckily they changed every
the
part of
sidekick,
that
yeah.
god awful
Yeah.
movie because
Yeah.
the movie is awful. If it's coming
But
to
a
a
lot
town
of
near
people
you,
like it.
right? Just
I mean, because that's what they've seen.
Because that's what they grew up on. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Reacting to a Nance comment in the chat room that Al asked her, 55 degrees Celsius is 131 degrees
Yeah, 'cause
Fahrenheit.
I know it made the papers as one of the hottest recorded things in the
You're
Emmy.
talking about last year or just
No,
No,
just
recently.
in the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks.
It was in the papers.
I want to say it was part of their monsoon.
Was that? Did
season,
you get
but-
that from Newsies?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Well, and
in the
also, but
papers.
last year they had a horrible time of it. So
But this one was like this temperature that lingered, and they were like, it won't stop, it won't go down.
Oh, it's
But
awful.
I had the good fortune of seeing that on Broadway with Jeremy Jordan, and he was just
I've seen
spectacular.
video of that, yeah,
and
he's
just
so
a
cute.
smile as big as the stage,
Yeah.
and the dancing was so good. And because he doesn't really dance that much, his character would miraculously be called away to some little task off stage while the dancing went on,
Wow.
and then would come back for the ta-da.
That's
and it was
funny.
kind of
Jack
funny.
Kelly don't dance.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, but at the same time, he just sold it, and like he and everybody in the audience fell in love with him. Like he sings the one song to his true love, and everyone in the audience was like, there wasn't a dry seat in the house. But the thing that really surprised me is like
Funny. That's
they
funny.
really did stop the show, which doesn't happen as often as people say it does. You know, a Dreamgirls, Effie White stopping the show cold,
Right.
but
Sounds
the
like
Full Monty actually had two legit showstoppers in it that really did shut it down. Where like they just took a bow and said, "All right, we'll wait for you all to finish your cheers."
Whenever you're
And
done.
Newsies had that dance number that really like brought the crowd to its feet, and they were like, "Got the rest of the show to do if you got a minute."
contracts. We all have contracts.
If you guys are done, we'd like to move on.
And it was pretty early in the run, so I don't think they were used to that reception
That kind
from
of
it. But
response,
boy,
yeah.
did that number go over! And I was like, I got goosebumps. Matt went back and saw it like 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
Because it was so good.
Yeah, I was really impressed with it. Watching it in the lobby
Yeah.
a year ago, and then seeing it.
Just getting
the whole
that
thing.
energy from them. Yeah.
And truthfully, what I enjoy so much is going with Erin because she enjoys it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be sitting there with her and she's all into it, and I can hear her kind of singing along, and just she's loving it.
And there's nothing worse than going with a horrible theater person. It's like,
that was during
Why-
Book of Mormon. During Book of Mormon, the people that were sitting in front of us, it was like they bought the most expensive seats so that they could be like, oh.
yeah.
And then we would laugh, and it's fucking funny.
Probably Mormons.
No, actually,
Maybe.
we thought about that, but I don't believe so. And it was really interesting though, because that's the worst feeling
Yeah.
when you're sitting there, and then you feel like you shouldn't laugh, and you're holding things back. Like, am I bothering you? Because that's fucking funny. Like,
Right.
let me laugh. I feel like. So anyway,
See, and I've reached a point in my life where I will just turn around and be like, "Am I bothering you? Shut up."
Yeah.
and, you know, Erin did that. I just don't have that. I'll do that in a lot of places, but I think because I'm not the theater kid, right? That I'm kind of still learning the ropes, kind of, as dumb as that might sound. That I just kind of am like, well, I don't, do I offend? I would not want to offend.
Oh no, you just
those
enjoy
people.
it.
And that's what Erin
Go,
did. She
go
was
in,
like,
yeah.
Well,
Jump
you-
in with both feet and
Right.
just revel.
Well,
in
you
it.
give us a follow-up on when you feel that you've really learned those ropes.
the
Let
next
us know.
motherfucker that turns around and looks at me and says something. Oh yeah, no, I'll be there. I'll tweet that out. As a matter of fact.
When you stand up in the middle of a production and yell at the woman behind you who just is incessantly unwrapping candy, then
Oh.
then you've learned your ropes.
Yeah.
That's, well, and Erin, the chewing gum, there were
me
some
crazy.
people right behind us that were doing that, and it's like, when is that going to stop?
And Les Mis in the program, it says, please, we have lozenges. We have unwrapped lozenges if anyone's cough anyone feels their cough may be disruptive. But I love that it says unwrapped. Like, you're not getting a fresh,
Sure,
clean lozenge.
sure,
Somebody's
sure.
handled
No,
this, but
They're
you're putting it in
laid
your
out.
mouth, or we're asking you to leave.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, but it was very fun, and hotter than God on Saturday, and Aaron's such a joy during the real heat.
I sense some
infused
sarcasm.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But she's my love, so we go with it.
That's why I went
And-
straight from my air-conditioned house to an air-conditioned restaurant to an air-conditioned bar. It was a little warm in the balcony at Gamage, but
Well, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. I mean,
That upper rim of the toilet gets that way.
sure does. Yeah, that's a heated seat up there. That's for sure.
I was like, I'm gonna drop you off at the door. Go ahead in, and
I'll
just,
park the car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it just, like we talked about last week, it just doesn't bother me. So it's like whatever, but it definitely gets to her, and so I can see where that happens, and then I'm like, oh, well, aren't you fun?
Hose her down. Hose her down.
Do something.
Get the ice water bath.
Something. So, but God bless her. God bless her. So yeah, and we leave tomorrow morning at the ripe, the ripe old hour of 6 a.m. or some horse shit like that, to go back to Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Is this why you need to leave promptly at 10?
Yeah, just I'm not packed. I still have to finish
Oh.
some work things.
Yeah.
Unprepared for something
right.
coming up.
I see. You just
Unforeseen.
Everything is
Ooh,
on my bed.
shade.
It's just not in. It's just not in the bag.
you just let us know when you want to depart. Like, just give us a wave and off you go.
Well, I just let him
You
get
can Irish goodbye it too, buddy.
10:30. As long as he knew why I was getting up, that
Yeah.
was my only thing. I was like,
I would find it odd though if all of a sudden, just in the middle of the show, you just packed up your shit and walked
Right.
out.
Like-
That would be kind of funny. I'd be texting, "Are you okay? What's wrong? Did we offend?"
That's why I was like, I'm just gonna let you know.
Oh my God. I just saw that thing. I mean, I was posting about Finding Dory, the movie, and a friend of mine posted a filet-o-fish sandwich, and the meme says, "Found Dory, was delicious."
That's cute.
Well,
And I am a unicorn. What?
I decided what must have been Saturday afternoon to go enjoy someone else's air conditioning.
Very nice.
So I went to see The Conjuring 2. This time it's personal. And
Electric Boogaloo.
but I was like, it's a horror movie that's getting well reviewed. I loved the first one. It scared the bejesus out of me. And then I realized that Finding Dory, which set a record for like the most money ever made by an animated movie in one 5-minute period or some
Right,
shit.
right.
Okay.
Oh my God, it was like being in hell. And it was the right temperature to make me believe it.
Oh.
Just a scramble of children out on the blacktop turning into the zombie apocalypse. Truly getting the early stages of heat stroke. Because they were just running back and forth. And so I found the only like open kiosk to like get my ticket and get in, but everybody else was waiting in line. Like people don't know how to use those little ticket kiosks.
Right.
So
Those things
they're
are
in the
amazing.
blazing sun, and I went at 3:15, so it was the hottest part of the day, legitimately. And these kids are like melting in the sun, and then they got the air conditioning and just screams. And then they got in lines because there were lines for all the showings because it was so sold out.
Oh my God.
And there was like, and then of course somebody brought a baby into The Conjuring 2. And not a baby, but it was like a 3-year-old, someone that was
Oh,
old
no.
enough to be scared to death that was actually
fucking
crying to
ridiculous.
be
Right.
taken out of the movie. And the kid was like hiding under his seat, kicking mine. They were laughing at this kid as the kid's screaming, "Mommy, I want to leave. Mommy, I want to leave."
You don't laugh at them like that until they're teenagers.
Yeah. But guess what? The kid
Good to know.
stayed for
Yeah.
the whole movie.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the whole
bet you
Isn't
love
that
movie.
kind of abusive?
Oh, it's really
Oh, it's
abusive.
yes.
I mean,
When you get to "Mommy, I want to leave."
No.
Because there's
scared to
a
death.
terrifying nun
Right.
and clown in this
Oh,
movie.
but no, I think it's even abusive before that because the parent thinks it's cool to take the kid to something that's going to
Absolutely.
terrify the fuck out of them for
Right.
the rest of their life potentially.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't have any. I mean, I'm not a big fan of clowns. Oddly, I like Puddle's Pity Party, the singer. Very different. But I'm not. There are images that I still remember as from a kid that were in movies or whatnot. I have no interest. But I also, unlike Alfie, I have no desire to go watch a movie that's going to scare me. I don't, I understand a surprise here or there, but to know that you're going there for terror purposes,
right.
I can't get on board.
I like the like the mystery and like kind of where you're
Suspense is the word you're looking for,
suspense
yeah.
and you're trying to figure it out and what's going on, and then something jumps out. Like you said, then I'm okay.
Like a 007 movie. Okay.
Right. Like
Yeah.
But no, this other stuff.
No.
We're not talking about the same things at all.
Well, no, but I'm saying it's an adventure movie where he's in a building and he's looking for somebody and somebody jumps out.
I'm good
That's
with that.
different.
Or like if you're just sitting there like Helter Skelter scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, as it should.
I mean, some people.
Meanwhile,
would-
the fact that I will never ever go near a well ever again. Thank you, The Ring.
Okay.
Fortunately, there are not a lot of wells in Central Phoenix that you could fall into, Jill.
It's a true story. Listen,
Jack or Jill.
baby Jessica.
That's a very small well. Where
No,
when
Samara
you're
was one of the
walking
scariest
past,
things in the world.
I know it. When you're walking past,
it.
it doesn't matter. I don't have any fucking words. Would
Would you like to borrow some of mine?
from
Yeah.
Oh, the sewer grates.
The sewer
Pennywise
grates,
the clown.
Oh, yes.
that.
Steve
And-
Curry, right?
Stephen King.
Tim
No,
Curry.
Tim Curry.
Stephen King. But I
Yes.
like how you made them together.
One person.
I have to tell you though.
And then they
that-
sounded like a basketball player.
that book, it's Stephen King and Peter Straub. No, that's the Talisman. It is all Stephen King. It is one of the most terrifying books I've ever read. Of all of his books, it's the most terrifying, and it's relentlessly scary. And the movie doesn't even touch
Doesn't
on
even touch it, yeah.
how. Well, and the movie is very scary, and they're remaking it, and hopefully they'll get to do a couple things differently. But oh my god, that book. That was one of those ones where I would hide the book, like when we were reading Dracula for high school, and the one girl said she couldn't keep it in the house with her, so she would have her mom put it in the garage when she was done with whatever chapter she had to read for the day, because she just thought it was so evil it shouldn't be in the house.
Keep it in the freezer.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to say I've ever done that.
That's
So
funny.
and then so that was my week, a movie, and then I got out of work early on Thursday, which was nice. So Friday I went and got a pedicure, and then wandered over to the French Grocery because it's right there, and then I had a couple drinks, and someone said they were at Joyride having a cocktail, so I pedaled my happy ass over to Joyride. All after the pedicure was miserable because it was hot,
Sure.
but then
But
the
after
sun
a couple
started,
of
yeah.
cocktails
Yeah.
and the sun starts to go
What the
down.
hell? What'd you do on
Right.
your Belbo there?
Oh, both elbows.
Oh, I just want to see the
Sitting
one.
at Joyride like this,
Yeah.
talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And it
I got
burned.
pressure ulcers.
Sure.
Pressure ulcers.
Oh.
Yeah. If you
Wow.
sit too long like
I
that-
was sitting there with another nurse, and she's like, "Well, I guess we have to turn you Q2 hours." I'm like, "Christ Almighty, what the fuck is that?" And then yesterday, I got put on call because I kind of had enough of the vacation's 9 days away now, in 3 hours,
Okay.
in 20 minutes. Tick tock.
Right.
And
So
I just
soon.
kind of burned out, so I was like, you know what? It's getting slow. You've got a lot of extra staff.
Sure.
Put me on call. Or, I wanted the whole night out, but they put me on call, which is kind of miserable. So I went swimming at a friend's house, which was nice. Came home, ordered some Chinese, and then watched. Well, we'll talk about it in entertainment, but
Okay.
I'm almost a lesbian.
Okay, but you can't
just
spoil
the new
because I'm
one.
only on episode 7.
Yeah.
I'm not there, so.
And you, sir?
Well, I'm not almost a lesbian. I can tell you that
Oh,
much.
I'm all the way a lesbian. No, that's not what I was talking
Yes,
about.
sir.
have
We
no
are.
idea.
We are aware.
I don't know.
The Justin Bieber of Studio C. My friend
Flip your hair.
My friend Gary, which I don't know if all of you remember. I know you know Gary. Gary Miller.
Miller, mhm.
Gary Miller. Friend turned 50 years old. Actually, his birthday I think is like today or tomorrow.
good,
actually, but his 50th birthday party was at his house on Saturday night.
Nice.
There was an Evite sent out several months ago. Mom got an Evite and she decided she wanted to go. So we went and we had dinner first and then trotted on over there. It may be the furthest I've ever driven to a person's house for a gathering. He lives at 157th Avenue
And who gives a
and
shit?
Coronado.
It's a ways
It's
out.
way the fuck over there.
That's farther
Yep.
than my house.
Yeah, it's way over there.
Yep.
I mean, it's a beautiful area. The house is great, and the coolest thing about their little neighborhood is he, along with I guess one of the first people that lived in that development, the original builder, built and then went belly up. It's like 7 years ago. So this one couple has lived in this area with no houses around them for 7 or however many years. And now everybody else, it was bought by another place. They all built up, but everybody knows each other, like in this little tiny community. And they were all at his house.
Oh,
so
nice.
nobody cared that the music was playing. Nobody cared that there was a party going on because they were all there.
There you go.
So it was fun. Linda Hoffman was there from you may remember from Pride and all. Sat there for a while, talked to several other people. Heard. Do you know you probably do. You know Connie? Well, I'm going to forget her last name.
Hi, Connie.
Connie and Sherry.
Yes.
Okay, Connie is full of stories. Amazing, because she's a native. She's been here since she was 2 years old.
Yep.
She knows stories of gay bars and fights and things that happen in raids that go back many years. She's 69 years old.
Okay.
We had it was a very interesting conversation with her to listen to a lot. And immediately I'm like, I want to sit with you and I want to talk forever to figure out. Because it was just really interesting to hear a lot of the stuff that had gone on way back in the day.
Like when we sat there with Mo and Bob.
Oh, absolutely.
With
Having
to go into the clubs, and it was all the underground.
Right,
and
passwords
all that
and down an alley and down a door.
That was
down
startling.
a hall.
It
Yeah,
was
it's
like,
very
what?
interesting how it was all.
I mean, Cruising Central was nowhere near a street. If you made it alive past that dumpster to even get to the front door of the gay bar, like,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
oh yeah,
Okay.
and that's an old gay bar.
Okay.
So that was fun to do that and enjoy that with her. And then I had another thought and I completely lost what the hell it was. I'm going to completely space it and forget what the hell it is. I can't recall.
Very nice.
I should have wrote down my little note when I had a thought bulb.
As far as what you did?
I got to remember to write down things. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
trust me.
Well, it's this time of year I'm still doing cleaning out, shaking, moving, purging shit.
Right.
I'm still in that mode. I think I'm perpetually in that mode. Though everybody
You are.
thinks
You're very good about it.
I accumulate a lot. Then I clean out shit, and I'm like, we're done.
Sure.
I've had this long enough. I haven't used it.
It's like a constant cycle.
Yeah, in and out, in and out.
You're good
Inheritance,
Oh, wow.
relinquishment, donation.
Yeah,
It all comes full circle. Yes.
And a huge announcement for our cast
And former cast.
and former cast.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Katie June.
Oh, can we get her on the phone?
baby.
She spit those two kids out.
Two
She
babies.
sure
Now,
did.
I did not see names. Did we see names?
I have not seen names
Thing
yet.
one, thing two.
Okay.
I feel like
Minnie
those are not
Clayton
it.
and
But-
Clayton Jr.
but
they were going to come out in little black.
They're girls.
Whatever.
I think Missy and Allie are both appropriate names
Oh.
for
Adorable.
Yeah,
I like
see?
that.
Kate
they
and Allie?
looked. Oh, I'd like that better.
I'm sure you would.
I love me some Kate and
Yes.
Allie. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, I wasn't talking about you.
Zip it, Doris.
Sir. Oh, I know what the other thing was going to be. I learned. I should know these things more. So I signed up for the Netflix thing, right? Because Grace and Frankie got me there.
Right.
Well, so I normally what I've been doing is I lay in bed and I watch an episode or two and then I go off to sleep. Well, the other night I was like, I'm not tired. I'm ready to go to bed yet. I think I'm going to watch it in the living room. So I did.
Yeah.
It's a whole fucking other world because I've got my surround sound in there. That whole show has there's a whole other subtext of shit going on in that show if you listen on surround sound.
What show?
Grace and Frankie.
Oh, okay.
Because they were in the hospital, they were on the beach, there's all kinds of sound. I don't hear that in my room. So now I've decided I'm just going to move to the bed in the living room, and that's where I'm going to sleep from now on.
All right.
Welcome
All
to
right.
my world.
Yes, it's very similar to what Al does.
I've taken another one down.
But I am so enjoying that show, and the funny thing is that there are little lines that are just shot in there, and you're like,
Now, did you start with season 1 or did you?
oh yeah,
Okay.
very first
So
one. I'm going
the
through all of
earthquake
it.
episode.
That was good.
That
good.
I just
it's
passed.
not the episode. It's that first opening scene
Has
with the
Mom and
two of
Di
them
watched it?
playing off of them each other
Uh-huh.
with the earthquake and
That's
the
right.
hugs and hiding off under the table. That to me was just the two of them at the height of their powers, just
absolutely,
really
Emma.
like.
I know. We
last
will.
night,
Sorry. Yes,
last night
we will.
last night I just cleared the heart attack episode in the hospital where they get married in the hospital. But the whole thing about the email that goes out where it auto-corrected and said completely different stuff as to
Yes.
what they were.
Funny.
Very
Forget
funny.
it.
But still, just the two of them is fantastic.
Yes.
It was a little challenging to watch the one where they went to the bar that night and they had made Jane Fonda up to be almost an 80s, almost like a character from the 80s where she was out, that Yes night they went out. That was a little hard to look at.
Well, I haven't seen season 2 yet, and
I haven't
the
got
thing
there.
with her is that she became. She was iconic in 3 different decades, but she was so iconic in the 80s for the overblown hair
Oh, the
and
Jane Fonda.
and the
And I love her
jazzercise and
hair.
everything. So, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, all you have to do is just make Jane Fonda look like Jane
Jane
Fonda.
Fonda.
I mean, it seems like a caricature until you're like, no, that's kind of what she looked like.
It is exactly what she looked
Yeah.
like. But I love her hair. When they got her put together, she looks fantastic to me. But
she's real
Lily
pretty.
Tomlin, I look at her and I think, you're Edith Ann, you're Violet, like you're everybody, and I'm just like,
That's the truth.
and then she does all this fantastic. It's just so funny. But the storyline to me is just very interesting, and how it's just very interesting, and the daughters that they've got, the kids that they have, it's just an interesting confluence, if you will, of characters in a show. Anyway, I love it. So I'm glad you got me finally on board with that.
Yeah.
There's that. We're going to get ready to go into our.
Once you go down that rabbit hole.
Look out.
Well, I think another $10 is going to be shipped
Hi,
over to those
Dale.
fine folks at
Sorry I
the
didn't call.
HBO probably soon.
Oh, just for John Oliver. Like, I got to tell you, like, John
Oh,
Oliver
yeah.
just every week.
Although I'm on the Game of Thrones bandwagon too.
I feel like I'm
don't
going to
mind.
have to eventually fall down that rabbit hole.
Nah.
Winter might be coming.
I
I don't
have
know.
not watched that.
I haven't either, and I'm trying to resist it, but I feel like resistance is futile at this point.
Futile.
True story.
Futile.
You might as well just give in.
Now, I understand from you, Alfie, that you said earlier that we are going to do, for those of you listening, and I can't imagine you not be,
Why?
we're going to do our drinking word
Both of you.
early because it's there's a reason to do it early because it's going to be useful during the entire headline section, you say, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, then we're going to do this and get on with it.
And now, a drink along. We dare you to stay awake during this royalty-free music and to play a drinking game with us. If you are currently or soon to be driving a car, you cannot play. If you are presently the primary caregiver for children and or the elderly, you may desperately want to play, but no. If you are listening from a rehab facility, you are disqualified because you already hit bottom. And that means you already won this game at least once. If playing this game is in any way illegal for you, put the bottle down and make better life choices. There is no good in your goodbye, and there is no lifeguard on duty, so you will be swimming at your own risk. Tell your lawyer to take the fucking day off. You can't sue us. We warned you. Good luck.
Well, of course, our
Giggles.
drinking phrase is thoughts and prayers, because it's so wrought with meaning. And I think it will make everyone in the headlines feel better.
Can we also have a moment of silence later, too?
Oh, sure.
Sure.
It's
'cause
very effective.
It does
Yeah.
so
With
much.
this group?
Well-
I didn't say I was going to participate. I said you
good
could have
God. Yeah,
one.
yeah.
It'll
You
be
can
a,
have
it'll be
a
a challenge.
Be silent
Take
all day
five.
if you want.
Marn, are
Usually
you
just while I'm chewing. But
are you ready to fly, Ryan?
think so.
Okay, here we go.
Our
Let's see
thoughts
if
and
we
prayers
can
are with you.
make this happen. It's some headlines on a Tuesday night. It's Q Talk America. Good luck to you and all the ships at sea. And here we go.
Your prayers mean so much.
Grab your wigs and keys. Finally, there's wine for cats.
hashtag Bible thump.
We found the family jewels.
When your childhood crush is a moron.
Man exposes his sausage at a Waffle House.
Old and fat, not in Japan.
The goat's in the mail.
Welcome, Shepherd of Angels.
And stuck in Barney's head. These and many more things to come up on this Thoughts and Prayers episode of Headlines on Q Talk America.
Now, thoughts and prayers with us.
Oh, there's our moment of silence.
Moment of silence. There you go. Yep. Hi,
Fast
Harrison.
moment.
Al, I thought of you when I read this story, then I thought, nope. Have you ever been home with your cat enjoying a nice glass of wine and thought, God, I wish my feline friends could enjoy this as much as I do?
If I had a nickel.
Well, they can't, of course, because alcohol, as you know, is very dangerous for pets. And what do cat-loving winos want to do? Well, enter Apollo Peak Wines. The Denver-based company makes drinks for cats that look like wine but bear little resemblance to the stuff ingredient-wise. It's both alcohol-free and grape-free in varieties like Pinot Meow and Moscato. Apollo Peak wine is made with organic catnip and water and colored with organic beet juice. The white varieties are colored with golden beets, by the way. It's made like tea. Apollo Peak founder Brandon Zavala told the Huffington Post, but since we got it to look so much like wine, we want it to be perceived as a wine by the consumer. That way they can feel as though they're having a glass with their wine or a glass of wine with their pet. Zavala, who named his company after the older of his two cats, Apollo, started making the drink commercially back in November. And for those of you wondering what your cat would look like, enjoying a nice.
Al's allergic to this whole topic.
I feel like I was genetically raised to hate these people.
Could have.
With a passion all my own.
But look how fancy he looks.
Now, cut to.
I want my cat to spill over a beet
Bonsoir, meow meow.
dyed fucking thing onto my carpet.
Sure.
Moscato.
So
is
there's
killing
Moscato
me.
and Pinot
The
Meow.
Moscato is killing me.
That's cute.
Yeah.
My thoughts and prayers are with these people because
How much is it retail for? Because I feel like we need some. I like the little sample size. Can we get a couple of those just to have around
I
here?
just love that. I want my cat to drink wine without grapes or alcohol. Why? Why? Your cat drinks water. Why? What's wrong with you?
because
Get a
drinking
friend.
because drinking alone is sad.
That
Thank
is
you.
true.
That's
That is true.
exactly where I was going with this.
And I guess
Oh.
drinking alone with only a cat for a friend would be
Well, I edited
Maybe
the
it
story.
might feel
I
less
edited-
sad.
a low ebb of a very sad.
Right.
I did edit.
Evan.
I did edit one line of the story, and in the very top of the story where it says, "Have you ever been home with your cat or cats?" I took out that.
You should have left that in. No, that's funny. That writer knows what's going on.
Oh,
Yes.
that is
Pinot
good.
Meow.
But Unbreakable.
I like it. All right.
Uh-huh.
So
These are the people that are like,
hashtag,
my best friend is my dog. Well, you should probably get out more.
hashtag Bible thump. You know how
Am
we
I
like
supposed to thumb something? I feel like a
You
sound
can,
cue
you
is
can,
missed.
You can.
Thoughts and
So-
prayers.
Yeah, our thoughts and prayers are with you
exactly.
while you wait for your Bible
Thoughts and
to
prayers
thumb.
are right here.
I even held her hand.
So I know that was weird. So a guy goes through the Bible. A guy goes through the Bible, and we've talked about this before. How people,
I feel like this is
Cherry
like a
pick.
Jew walks into a bar. Where's this headed?
kind of. Guy goes through the Bible on Twitter to explain why homophobes are dumb. And I went through this and just enjoyed it. So, obviously, the shooting at the Orlando gay nightclub Pulse is the worst mass shooting on U.S. Soil in history. And so this guy went through, and people were thoughts and prayers,
Yeah.
right? Thoughts and
Means
prayers
so much.
on the expressing their grief through thoughts and prayers. So on the flip side here, homophobes are expressing opinions similar to those of the attackers, often using the Bible as an excuse and trying to get Leviticus 18:22 trending. Twitterer at certified fool _ however, schooled them on what the Bible also says.
I love these.
Yeah, me
I
too.
know, right? If you really want to talk about the Bible considers an abomination, we can. I'm well versed in this word.
What's his handle again?
It is
Certified fool.
at certified fool _
Thank you. I'm sorry for interrupting.
That's okay. If you turn to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 17, you will see that lying is an abomination. Yet y'all on here lying all y'all dusty lives daily. Turn to Isaiah chapter 66. Here we learn that eating unclean things is an abomination, like pork. And I'm sure one of you sucking on a rib bone now. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 12 states that we shouldn't eat shellfish. It's an abomination. Put that crab leg down. Certified Fool brings in his own Jeff Foxworthy-ish catchphrase, you might just be an abomination.
Oh, that's a good
I
one.
like it. For all of you wine and liquor drinkers, you should probably check out Proverbs chapter 20. You might just be an abomination. And ladies, if you happen to divorce your husband, get with another man, and then decide to get back with your husband, think again. You might be an abomination. So, as he went through, how can you, a defiled, divorced woman, judge someone for being gay when your Lord considers you to be unclean?
What God has joined, let no man put asunder.
Right. And don't
Luckily,
get me
it's a disco
started.
song.
And don't get me started on
Calm
all
down.
you dusty cheaters out here, because y'all are abominations in several different ways. And then he says, shit gets real when he's talking about sex. 95% of you, and he uses the N-word because he can, have beat your meat enough times to send your whole family to hell. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 will explain.
Thou shalt not beat thy meat.
Unless it's
Shall
pork,
not choke
and
Without
then it's
proper
unclean.
thoughts and prayers first.
You straight dudes ever watched porn and looked at a woman and thought how sexy she was? Matthew chapter 5. I know you love your Rolexes and your pearls and your chains, etc., but unfortunately, you may just go to hell. Go read Timothy chapter 2.
You may just go to hell.
You got tattoos on your body coming for the gay community when your God said, you shall not print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. Again, for my ladies, you have the nerve to say homosexuality is against the Bible, and that same book says that you shouldn't speak in church. Look at the tag on your clothes.
Yeah, mixed fabrics.
Is it a polyester or fabric blend? Because according to Leviticus chapter 19, y'all are going to hell too. Leviticus chapter 19 also states that y'all shouldn't get round haircuts or trim your beards. So there you have it. You might
I'm
be
glad
an
that bowl
abomination.
cuts are an abomination because I'm kind of with him on
That's
that
really
one.
a good point.
yeah.
Leviticus is a pretty interesting book, he says. Chapter 3 says you shouldn't eat things like steaks or burgers. But here y'all are. I mean, he goes through and just boom, boom.
No, but they've always done that. They pick and choose what they
Absolutely.
want, what's convenient for them. That's all they do.
And there's a
Absolutely.
African American pastor somewhere who starts off, and you think it's going to be just another god awful sermon, and then he just goes on to call out the whole church
Yeah, you're all fucking liars and cheats.
You
And
all-
and just all the things they're doing wrong, and he calls on
Yep.
like the suits, the nice suits that they all wear, and the blends of fabrics,
Mm-hmm.
and that they'll stand there and call somebody a sinner, but then go and like use them for whatever services they need.
Right.
And in his case, he talks about the choir, that he knows that behind him in the choir are homosexual men and women, that they love the sound of their voice, but they say they hate the sin. And he's like, that's the same person. It's a
Oh,
wonderful.
right.
It's all over his sermon.
I think I've seen part of that.
That's fantastic.
And it's just because the congregation kind of gets with him, and they don't all stand up and applaud. It doesn't turn into The Color Purple, but it goes like it gets to the
only.
point where he's like, people are like hearing it and like giving their thoughts. It might just be the thoughts and prayers coming from the people that are related to the gays in the choir, but
That's how he ended it. Thoughts and prayers
Thoughts
be
and
with
prayers.
you.
Uh-huh.
That's how.
but
he
it really was a it's a really interesting sermon
love
to
that.
hear it told from the person saying, "I have the
gonna
Bible in
build
front of
you
you,
up."
so let me tell you where
Right.
you're going off the rails
Every
if that's what
Sunday.
you're going to quote." Yeah.
Every Sunday I talk to you. This was, so now that you've actually seen what the Bible says about abominations, who's going to heaven? I'll wait. And I love that he's like, go ahead. But people, of course, came back at him, right? The homophobes, as it were.
Of course, they would.
And so they were...
After their fourth Miller Light.
Exactly. So I was, this guy says, at certified fool _ says, so I was responding to one person and decided instead to respond her, kill all you birds with one stone. Because he was pointing out, somebody responded, you can't just pick verses. Wait a minute. Thoughts and prayers say fuck you.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's exactly what people do. And I just pointed out that you can't pick and choose Bible verses and try to apply them to your needs. If you don't do that, then this thread wasn't about you in the first place, and you shouldn't feel a type of way.
It's like an instruction manual on how to build an engine. You can't just do the parts you want to do. You got to do all of it, or none
That's
of
right.
it, because it's not going to work.
That's right.
Not that I believe that if you do all of it, it's in that fictitious book.
No,
it's ever going to
but
work
still,
for you anyway.
it's a good analogy.
I just put it in the.
Hey, Greg.
I put it into the same with most. To me,
Miller Lite is an abomination. Thank you, Harrison. The Earth was flat.
I got to tell you though, right around 105, a cold Miller Lite is just as good as anything else.
That's true.
I welcome the abomination into my mouth.
Wow.
Well, with your thoughts and
Thank you,
prayers.
Rock the prayers, of course.
But I always say I boil it down to do unto others. Like that's
Yeah.
what you should take out of your religion is be kind.
Yeah, if you don't want to be treated as an asshole, don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
That's right.
Yeah,
Very,
That's right.
very simple.
Yep.
I agree.
And if you think
I
calling
mean,
people out on their
I said it
bullshit-
in about 10 words. They wasted like volumes, but
Yeah, whole book.
Absolutely. Well, I have a feeling thoughts and prayers are with us
Yeah.
because we're an abomination.
or that first
Oh, I feel
Corinthian,
it.
right? The first Corinthians or whatever it is.
Cheers.
But if I have all these
Oh.
things, but I have not loved.
But their
whatever that is.
their leather is nice. That Corinthian leather, god damn.
and Sherpa.
Ricardo
God.
Montalban.
Lean your way.
And if you've ever been to a wedding, that first Corinthians gets whipped out. That's more tired than the bride by the end of that day. Like that should.
I don't have the counter space.
It's very true. That's funny. Anyway, I just love that because so often, and especially during these times with thoughts and prayers, I just think that it's...
I haven't watched it yet, but it was popping up late this afternoon on the Facebooks. The little dark-haired preacher who was talking about the fact that he was glad that everybody in Orlando was killed because 49 pedophiles have just been taken out of the way, blah, blah, blah. Well, somebody bum-rushed him outside his car with a camera crew and started to interview him, and I haven't watched it yet. Part of it was just because I didn't want to watch it earlier today, but at some point I want to watch him get just pressured into what the fuck is your deal?
Right.
That's and they, he's a young. If I'm not mistaken, he's a younger,
Looks really young,
younger
yeah.
guy too.
And
So-
and really, why are you hating
Yeah.
on anybody? Like, stop hating.
Yeah, I mean, he might want to be upset with the guy who cut his hair. I mean, based on the video I saw,
That
but
could be, yeah, right.
But
the bowl cuts are
bowl cut.
an abomination.
When he found out that thoughts and prayers don't help bad haircuts.
Exactly.
No.
Well, it's an abomination.
Yeah.
You know.
I swear to God that when you posted that line, whatever about thoughts, your prayers mean so much. All I can see is Sissy running across the living room, flipping that cord in that movie. Oh, prayers mean so much.
Prayers
Yeah,
mean
when she's-
so much.
Ow!
It's called aversion therapy. You'll have to ask him. He explains it better than I do.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I know I picked the wrong week to stop
Snap.
smoking.
Would you like a Valium?
Yeah. I'd take 2 if I was you. Another one of the most quotable,
Oh, God.
funny movies.
We were doing that at that party on Saturday.
I need to brush up.
Fine,
Gary,
sir.
the song starts playing and Gary walks past me and he goes, I got a show to do. he went up and started dancing. Oh, hell.
The orderlies have asked that you give the medication before I start my performance.
It worked much better that way. Do you have any Mylanta? I had enchiladas for lunch. Oh, God. Okay, continuing on. Thoughts and prayers to all of you. A suspected jewel thief in Konya, Turkey has been arrested after stolen rings and necklaces were found up his ass during an x-ray exam. Cut to picture of x-ray. There it is. The suspect, who is identified as O.A., I can't really pronounce it, was
Spell
arrested.
it, please.
O.A. With the 2 little dots above it, above the O.
An umlaut. if you will.
What?
Did they make it OA?
Away? Well, he was arrested after police investigating a break-in noticed him and a particular walk that he had. The 24-year-old was taken to a local hospital to be examined by an x-ray technician, and lo and behold, what they found was what you're seeing on your screen right now. The technician found several objects in the suspect's ass, including 2 gold rings, 4 gold earrings, 2 gold necklaces, 2 turtle doves. In an amazing coincidence, the objects belong to the X-ray technician's family, according to the Turkish language website. The recovered jewelry was handed over to authorities, presumably after a good scrubbing.
Yeah.
Police arrested the suspect that they believe was involved also in 2 other robberies in the same neighborhood that week. Oh my gosh!
that's
Things
funny.
I found up my cooter.
When I read that story earlier, I went right to 2 turtle doves.
All right, just to put all you weather files on. I'm sure there's a better word for weather in that sentence. It's 11% humidity. So
Where? Here?
yeah. So if that gives
Oh.
you if that tells you what a dry heat is,
And that's high for us because single digits is where I prefer to be.
Yep.
Looking for meteorology.
Meteorological
files, sure.
I'm into it.
So,
I dig it.
when your childhood crush turns out to be a moron,
Wow.
it really makes you kind of sad. That's all.
Is that how you deal with Rick Springfield?
No, it's not about Rick Springfield. I will stick up for him. He's
coming back to town again. Did you see that?
I'm going to be there. 7th row. What?
Jesus Christ.
I love him.
His face may not be with it.
I
this
don't
time.
care. I just don't care. I'm that close to Dr. Noah Drake. I don't care.
All right, well.
Anyway, it's my other crush from when I was growing up.
Scott Baio? Oh, totally. What a fucking loser he's turned out to be.
That's right, but let's not call him a moron.
We lost
'cause he's gonna
Chachi.
sue us. Yeah, Chachi has
We
gone
lost
off. the-
Chachi.
Oh, off the rails.
Nobody
Baio-
loves Chachi anymore.
No, that's right. Not Joni, not nobody.
No, not Joni, not Marnie.
Not nobody. No.
Zip.
Scott Baio threatens to sue anyone who thinks he's a moron for saying Obama is a secret Muslim.
Oh yeah.
He's a moron. Sue me.
Sue
Yeah.
me. Come on.
So he's
And and all he's ready to
Trump
do. I didn't know he had
with
enough
better
money
hair.
to like have a team of lawyers.
An imbecile. Like, I'll call him an imbecile. Not even a moron. I'll just call him an imbecile.
He's Trump with better hair.
Yeah.
Bad skin, though.
He's-
God, have you seen
Oh.
him? Jesus.
One
Crack is
time,
whack,
I
yo.
love this. One time relevant actor, Scott Baio, might just be Trump's #1 fan, and his penchant for litigation goes a long way towards explaining why. The pair certainly share an interest in threatening frivolous lawsuits toward anyone who gets under their razor-thin skin. This week, Bayo went from obscure trivia answer to national laughingstock.
Our thoughts and prayers are with you,
That's
Scott.
right, completely, Mr. Bayo. When he appeared on Fox Business, which just in and of itself,
right.
to float the idea that President Obama is a secret Muslim whose, quote, end game, unquote, is to totally eliminate the United States as it was created.
Wow.
You know, he's busy, that Obama.
Running a country.
Apparently. Bayo's evidence for these rather serious allegations, well, a few right-wing memes and the words of Donald Trump, who spent this week accusing Obama of cooperating with ISIS. When one accuses the President of the United States of treason...
almost being their leader.
Uh-huh. Yep, he or she might expect a bit of pushback. But when it came, Bayo became unglued and has been threatening to sue those on Twitter who are currently having a blast mocking him.
Oh.
When a user attempted to show Bayo how offensive it is to casually fling around unsubstantiated allegations, he missed the point entirely and responded by telling her she wasn't allowed to assume, think, or hypothetically say a joke about him, or he would sue her for defamation.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything to be famous for.
Nope.
I'm sorry, were you ever really famous?
Thoughts and prayers. Joni loves Chachi.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm just quoting Tootsie.
Excuse me,
I'm
sir.
just an old
Defamation is in
has-been. Have you ever
question.
been famous? Then how can you be a has-been?
Jesus.
But I love someone that just doesn't understand, like that, and that's the point where
who
I wanted to bring this story in, but all I could think of when I read that about. He called Obama a secret Muslim, and then when somebody accuses him of something, I'm going to sue you. That's
I'm
defamation.
not sure you can't call me that.
So wait a minute.
Yes, that was it's ridiculous.
Who?
First Amendment
Scott
thing
Baio
is tricky.
is
It goes
just
both
at
ways.
Scott
I know it.
Baio.
He cuts both ways.
I'm trying to figure out what dead news day was it when they decided, God, what 70s, 80s star could we dig?
Well, because
he
no,
has
but he's
actually
been very
been-
vocal
He's
on
talking
Oh, he's
Twitter.
been very vocal. Oh, okay,
yeah.
got it. Because I'm thinking, who
Oh,
decided
honey,
this?
we're not going out looking for him. He came out looking for
Right,
us.
did.
so he's looking for. He needs a career boost.
Oh.
It's what he's looking for. Him and
I would
Ralph
think so.
Macchio are probably pairing
Wax
up.
on,
right?
Trump on,
right,
Trump off.
Right,
Trump
something.
on,
Yeah.
Trump off.
Careful, grasshopper.
Oh.
He should go run around with Pinky Tuscadero again and figure out the fuck he's got to figure out.
Shitterati.
The what? The shitterati?
I think we all had a little crush on him, and then I found out how tall he was. And
I didn't
Oh,
ever
God.
have it. No, that's Scott Baio.
I really did.
Never did.
Not anymore. Because he's a moron.
I was distracted
Sue me.
by Eric Estrada.
Yeah, right? I can believe that.
my love was spread so thin then.
I think I'm actually going to follow him on Twitter.
Who, Scott
now.
Baio?
Yeah, I'm going to now.
What about Erin Moran thinks about this?
Well, we'll find out. Maybe I'll follow her. On
Or Ron Howard.
Oh, good. Yeah.
call.
Henry Winkler's probably all alongside him. I would bet you. I would bet money.
I'd be surprised.
Oh, I'd be
actually.
very surprised.
Yeah.
Henry Winkler wouldn't be on the right?
I'd be
Oh,
surprised.
I have
Really?
yeah.
He seems like a right person to me because he does all those reverse mortgage things where he fucks
That's
old
just
people
for
over.
money, though.
Yeah, but still, that's what all the Republicans do shit for is for money.
I just can't wait to be old enough to know what the hell they are.
I'll explain it
Reverse
later.
mortgage.
I'll explain it later. I'll order you the DVD.
No, don't. Spoiler alert! I will take your thoughts and prayers until I'm old enough to find out the real story.
If I delusionally speculated that at Scott Baio was a pedophile, could I get a story about that? Says this at a Dart producer. I don't think it's a Dart. I don't think.
But here's the thing about this that makes it kind of upsetting in a couple different ways. And the one is that we're kind of conflating, if you will, the fact that
He matters.
him being like Obama could be Muslim and who cares what religion he is the same as Scott Baio being a pedophile.
Right.
Those
No.
aren't, you know what I mean?
I'm
They're
with
not.
you.
That's the thing about what they're calling back with that kind of makes the wrong point.
Exactly.
To me,
I agree.
like
I completely agree.
like
It's too
good,
but I
good,
think
good and
that's,
bad in every religion, but we're coming back with these people that are coming back are fighting against the wrong.
right, and he's
Fighting the
coming
right,
out,
it's the right fight with the wrong argument.
right because
That's-
they're just saying, "Here's how ludicrous this is,"
Yeah, it is, and
and
it
that's
is
what
ludicrous.
they're trying to say.
But I mean, the fact that we're just putting in the same category someone's religion as opposed to you molest children.
Well, and he's
Catholic
like, I am
priests,
not a
unfortunately, are in the
rapist.
Right,
same.
Right.
I say it all the time. Let's at least compare apples to apples.
Yeah. And that's my problem with that. Like there's no like what would the problem if Obama was Muslim? Although he's another one that I don't really think is all that religious. He's, as I'll say about the two
I think he likes golfing.
two people and an asshole that are still in the presidential race. I think they're the three least religious people that have ever run for the office of president in
maybe.
American
Right.
history.
Sure.
Because I think Clinton saw a church once.
Right.
Trump has never, except from above. I think he looks down on St. Patrick's Cathedral from one of his towers.
That's fair.
2 Timothy.
2
Corinthians.
2 Corinthians is my favorite.
2 Corinthians.
And I actually had to watch myself when I said 1 Corinthians. I was like, wait, how do you say that? But I really think it's interesting that we have the least religious people now running for the highest office in the land, when up until recently there was that really strict religious test of like... But you could tell all of them would be like, oh, the prayer thing. Yeah, hold on, wait.
My mighty shepherd.
I'm not, and again, I think one of them and the asshole have compassion and mercy in their hearts. I don't think Donald Trump has any feelings whatsoever
I don't think
above
there
his.
are any thoughts of
I don't
prayers
think his
coming out
brain
of
connects
that.
to his feet with any kind of power.
No. But it is that double standard you were talking about, because it says Bayo is yet another example of the double standards that right-wing celebrities have created for themselves. They can freely throw any manner of disgusting allegation at the president and his family with reckless abandon.
Yeah.
But if met with even a single joke at their own expense, they fall apart.
Oh, Ted Nugent. You know, Ted Nugent can
Absolutely.
threaten to like shove a gun up Hillary's ass and fire. He threatens to assassinate the president all the time. But
Right.
if you said you didn't agree with George Bush, you were treasonous and should be like flown out of
Absolutely.
the country and have butt sex with Saddam Hussein. I mean, it was.
A little late now.
A little late now, right.
But at the
As
time,
appealing as that always sounded.
yeah.
And this
Yeah.
Because
Bayo's...
weren't the Dixie Chicks called
Oh,
Hussein's
they were,
Angels?
yeah, oh, yeah.
They were called Hussein's
Yeah.
Angels and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Are they
By
all-
people like Ted Nugent, who then threatened to
And
Are they on the How Do You Like Me Now tour? The,
right,
the
I was
Dixie
going to
Chicks?
say, that was the other person who
Yeah.
came out about that, Toby Keith.
If I were them, I would just have started that tour with coming out on stage, standing there, and said, "Fuck you, people."
Right. Conservative actor James
Welcome back.
Woods was another one that reacted super right wing.
Oh, yeah, he's a crazy one
infamously-
to follow.
Oh, big time.
Is that why? I wonder if that's why his name is used constantly in Family Guy.
Oh, it could be.
Maybe.
He's all
Oh,
like the
Seth
high school's
MacFarlane
named
hates
after.
him.
Oh, that's why. It's
Oh,
it's
Zach
used all the
MacFarlane
time.
hates him.
Yeah, he was going to sue, and there is still that case is still currently locked up in court about someone who said that he once did cocaine, and so he's still suing over that kind of thing. It's it's one of those things where Bayo has come out and been on Fox News a few times, and Aaron sent me my Aaron sent me Ernie, as it were. Sent me her. Sent me an email that said, "Just watch this," and it was a video of Scott Baio, and I felt I was sitting there by myself, going, "Oh God, just kind of curling up, thinking, you stupid fucker, what in God's name?" And that was when he initially came
Yeah.
out pro-Trump, and he has been just beating that drum. So
To touch on something off topic from what you were talking about in the chat room, Greg from Grand Rapids brought up the fact, and I agree with you, Greg. Tired of seeing the face, hearing the name about the guy that shot up Orlando last weekend. I actually tweeted to Rachel Maddow the other night because it was on her show, and I'm like, Cooper or Anderson Cooper has been so good at not saying it, not showing it. Others have, but I was hoping that I could get her on that same bandwagon. I haven't heard a response yet, but if you'd like to tweet Rachel Maddow, it's at Maddow, and you can just send a message to her directly. Just stop saying it. Stop.
Yeah,
Good.
I had to during a Wolf Blitzer part that I just thought this is turning into like torture porn of some kind. That
We don't have to. Can we just say the shooter? We don't have to say.
Yeah,
Don't
and the
show-
picture, and they kept showing the
Yeah.
picture over it. I'm like, no, now we're glorifying
Right.
something.
Totally. And
and
that's
that
what they
video
want.
of him,
Yeah.
the video where the documentary.
I haven't seen
There was
that.
a documentary that like an undercover kind of thing that someone had done. He was just a part of it, and
Oh, I didn't see
they
that.
played it over and over. His speaking part, and it's like, don't give him
No, he
Yeah.
needs nothing.
Nuh-uh.
none.
That's why I'm at 24 hours and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you've told me,
You're good
whatever
about
I've
that,
read,
yeah.
whatever's come out, like I'll find out more in conversation.
Right.
But no, I'm not 24 hours for 3 weeks.
And you
this
can't do it
thing.
because they just
I'm not
beat
doing
it to death. Like
Right.
you kind of stopped wearing. I mean, I think the airplane was the one.
Yes.
Which airplane?
Well,
Malaysia.
oh,
Malaysia,
Malaysia,
March
Malaysia,
8th.
Yeah.
I only know because it was my sister's birthday.
Oh,
But I just thought, okay, that is
That lasted until
enough.
almost the next March.
But unfortunately, what proved to be true for CNN was they had been in a rating slump since the previous election, and that got them back.
Oh.
The ratings for any time they said that airplane's name went through the roof, and all their special reporting put them back on the map of not having to lay off more people. So that was one of the things that even they admitted to the evilness of it, and they're like, it pays.
Sure.
and again, and I understand because I've
And it's
I've worked in
a
it.
747 or a 777, whatever size that plane was, that went completely missing. That's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been
Not a
in it-
year's worth, but
I've been around the business. I understand it. I get money. I get ratings. I get all that. But I'm also exceptionally tired of, at the top, every time there's a new show, they come back from every commercial break. It's breaking news. No, it broke. This is continued coverage
Yeah,
or
and that-
whatever. Let's quit breaking newsing it because it's not. And now, if it's breaking news, we found a piece.
Right.
Fine. But we're still talking about that 17 hours ago, a plane went missing, and they start the hour with, well, the missing plane, blah, blah. Like, it's not breaking. We're not breaking anymore.
Yeah.
I just wish
and
they'd stop that.
People are familiar.
what's
Right, people are familiar.
They had
What's-
the breaking news banner up on Sunday when they were showing the memorial from Orlando.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's not breaking news. It's,
Right.
it's
Right.
And that was under pressure too, because they did not have, as of like a really late date, they did not have a memorial set up,
Yeah.
and people were starting to cry out like homophobia. Like people were like, "Why is this the only
right. How is there
city-
not a public service?
a
of some
public
sort?
service
Right.
coming, a multi-denominational public service?" And boy, that sprung up on Sunday. All of a sudden, it was that
And
kind
they
of was to me
expected,
that
like,
was breaking
500
news
people.
because.
And it was huge.
Oh yeah, and the crowd was enormous. But Anderson Cooper, as he's taken everybody in Florida task to being, Floridians,
That's right.
he's blaming them from A to Z, as they would say in Canada. He shamed people about the lack of service,
Yeah.
public. What the fuck am I trying to say? I can't even think.
The coming
Memorial.
together.
I hope your thoughts
Yeah.
and prayers are for
Thoughts
me
and
during
prayers.
this troubled
Mass
and
thoughts
I,
and prayers.
Greg,
day. I
you're-
ran out of words.
You're feeling like you're not making any sense, but you
day
absolutely
the
are.
music died.
I mean, you absolutely are making sense because I'm with Clayton and with you. I
we
think
talking
we're all
to?
in consensus with Greg. The idea that he's just so tired
Oh.
from typing, he's not feeling like he's making a lot of sense. But everyone does know who
Yeah, we
they're
know who
talking
you mean.
about. We know exactly who you mean, and I don't.
In a couple months, we'll be confused as to which
which
shooting you're
shooter?
talking. Yeah,
Right.
but for now, we're
Give it a week.
yeah, give it a week.
right? And
Like-
and that like their faces, I feel like should be blacked out. Like it should just be a silhouette of somebody if they even need that.
Then they don't.
But if they feel they do, throw a silhouette up there. Nobody needs to see his face. There shouldn't be any recognition.
you're giving them-
and I don't
Especially
care.
not if he's dead. Like he's not on the lam. We're
Right.
not looking for the motherfucker.
Right.
He's
Right,
dead.
right.
There's
And
no
wait-
reason to be on the lookout for
And
him.
you don't need to glorify it to cause some kind of copycat who thinks there's my glory. I'm going to be on
Correct.
CNN every 5 minutes of every
Right.
day. My picture's going to be up there. They're going to keep saying my name. It's that Oprah thing. Remember when she had all the women at her ranch? I don't know, to have a salad. I don't know what the point was. But when she did
Bread.
that whole I say
Bread.
your
It
name,
was
you know,
for
and she
bread.
presented them with her awards. Remember that big Oprah thing that she did a couple
That
years
was-
ago?
Oprah did a lot of big things.
Are
Yeah,
you
but-
talking about in Africa? The school in Africa?
No.
Was it
Well,
with the
I was gonna
rains
say
in
that. That's
Africa?
yeah, I missed those.
I missed those
I
rains.
missed those.
I thought some
rains.
prayers
Our
with the
thoughts and
rain.
prayers.
Wait, I'm
with-
gonna look this up.
If I actually drank as many
Oh,
times as we
bless
said
her.
it, I'd be
I
under the
know,
bus.
yeah.
No, Oprah
oh
did
my
that.
god, I wouldn't drive home.
God, you guys have a short attention span, or you don't hate Oprah as much as I do. But she did that thing.
I'm
I don't.
We don't hate
reasonably
Oprah.
indifferent to Oprah
Yeah.
most days.
She did
Black
the big
woman,
thing with
right?
all the women.
Weight
she
problem,
did, with
black
all the
girl?
women at her ranch in Malibu. And it was the thing about celebrating them, and she did the whole "I say your name" to honor them, and it was
I got
Stand by.
everyone's
I'm gonna
favorite
find
gin
it.
and tonic fan, Maya Angelou, and just a long list
no
of
idea.
of accomplished women, and that
Okay.
was the big thing: is "I say your name." Like that's how she honored them, and
Okay.
oh, for the love of God!
Well, I'm gonna have to look
Disappointing
into
gays.
that.
The internet is giving me nothing either.
Black
so
woman
hang
TV
on.
show weight problem. That girl?
Yeah.
Okay, not
Like,
sure.
like had a little wagon of fat.
Oh, wagon
That
of
one?
fat, 50
No.
pounds of fat, or whatever the hell
Bread.
she
I
had.
like bread.
Something like that.
I like bread.
I love
love
bread.
I do.
I love it. I eat it every day.
every day.
It's the beauty of this program.
Love bread.
Oh, is that a video of all them calling out people's
Yeah,
names?
yeah.
I don't need to watch that. Can we move on? Can we
Yes,
move on?
yeah, absolutely.
Will there be bread?
Kat,
Yes, dear.
I love bread.
Oh,
gonna need you. Remember
all
that? Well, Georgia man. Oh, first thing I'm going to put up this. I want people to understand. People who are not local, people who are not in this country. If you do not know what a Waffle House is, this is what they look like. A Georgia man is facing public indecency charges after allegedly trying to force his way into a Waffle House while stark naked. Bashir Rashid is 36 years old, was arrested on June 7th after he drove his BMW to a Waffle House in Sandy Springs, Georgia, got out of his car and tried to enter the restaurant without clothes. Witnesses told police that Rashid began stroking himself after exiting his car and walked up to the entrance where he allegedly pressed his member against the glass entry door. A restaurant employee immediately called 911 to explain the situation. We cut now live to a reenactment of that call.
Ring, ring. Hi, this is the Waffle House. A gentleman just got out of his car and is standing naked in my front door. Oh Lord, he just peed on my front door, and now he's walking. Sir, you cannot come in here, sir.
Thank you for that live reenactment, Kat Carlson.
I like the pictures too.
One eyewitness was quoted as saying that the man who was outside the Waffle House stroking himself was, quote, built like a potato. Here is a picture of said man outside the Waffle House window.
Now can we have a picture of a potato?
Oh, I don't have a potato picture.
Damn it!
God damn it! I wasn't unprepared.
I forgot to shave that day.
Again, just so you know the difference.
That's awesome.
Waffle House,
Yeah.
naked man shaped like a potato.
I don't think this expresses his love of waffles. Okay, so Oprah
He
had
likes
her
bread.
Oprah had a thing
likes
at her Malibu ranch where she celebrated all of those famous women, and the poem that she was quoting is called "We Speak Your Name" by Pearl Cleage. Mm-hmm. And it's because we are free women, born of free women who are born of free women back as far as time begins. We celebrate your freedoms. And then it continues, my sisters, we are gathered here to speak your names. We are here because we are your daughters, as surely as you have conceived us, nurtured us, carried us in your wombs, and then sent us out into the world to make our mark. And what we see and be what we be, but better, truer, deeper because of the shining example of your own incandescent lives. We go forward a little again about sister speak. And we are the ones you hoped would make you proud because of all our hard work, makes all of yours part of something better, truer, deeper, something that lights the way ahead like a lamp unto our feet, as steady as the unforgettable beat of our collective heart. We speak your name. We speak your name.
This sounds like Madonna
And so
lyrics.
they had each of them stand up, and she did the whole thing. Do you guys seriously not remember this? It was like one of the most powerful women things that
got
went on.
nothing. No.
I guess it's because she drives me crazy that I follow her so much, but
There's nothing wrong with that. I just, I don't have any idea.
Let it go.
yeah.
Let it go.
I-
But anyways, it's the
personally-
power of saying someone's name
Okay.
that it gives it power. So
Sure.
don't.
Well, and I'm just speculating that perhaps he couldn't figure out which bathroom that he was most comfortable using. So maybe he just.
That's a true story.
Oh, maybe.
Might have.
Our thoughts and prayers are with him. Like,
Yeah.
based on his belly, he hasn't seen his genitals in a while.
Yeah, I'm with Meow. We
I know
need a-
you can't see those shoes, but those are gorgeous.
I'm with
Slip
Meow
ons.
Cow.
I'm not
We need
sure.
a veggie room for those who identify as potatoes.
That's what I was to say. I'm not sure which bathroom a potato should
Yeah.
use.
Yeah. That's
Well, and that's why it was such a quandary.
Right.
He had to go
Animal?
outside.
Well, he.
Vegetable?
However, wasn't complete veggie. Remember, he was stroking his sausage when he got out of his car, so there was meat involved.
Animal.
Oh my God.
You
You
animal.
animal.
Mineral.
Was his name not Jim? I am so bad at names.
So I just wanted to tell you, I've looked in the mirror, so I'm not talking to me. You can dine in the nude at an eatery in Japan.
Oh, the Waffle House outside.
Not that one. Not that one because it's not Japan.
Sir, you can't
Oh.
come in here.
Japan.
Unless you're old or overweight. Well,
Gay pride.
that's two for me. So can't do either of those. But we haven't even
wait.
seen the menu.
Old fat guys can or cannot?
Cannot, which is
Okay.
fine.
All right.
I mean,
That feels fair to me.
what? Yeah, but not to the older, larger gentleman that
Well,
might
open your
want
own
to
damn
dine.
restaurant.
Okay,
That's fair.
Open the old fat
I-
guy naked restaurant,
I can.
and they
go
will
with
come
that.
flocking to your
I think
cause.
that would be
And
fantastic.
then people are like, every time they see the picture on the bathroom door of who's supposed to be there, like, ooh, I don't want to see that.
I'm gonna open an old fat
Potatoes
Jewish
and
guy
pears.
restaurant
Why's it got to be a
sitting
Jew?
shiva, because then we can cover the mirrors. because we're sitting
yeah.
Shiva. So
I see where you're going with
we'll
that.
just call it Shivas.
Just stab a person in the parking lot. So he has something to
Are
mourn.
you sure you
Shivas.
don't do yoga? Because that was a stretch.
Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. I like it.
I know you feel bad when I congratulate someone else on a pun, but
It's okay. No, that was good. That's okay. I don't hold the puns for just me.
That was really
We
fun.
haven't
That was
even
more
seen
of
the
a-
menu, but a new Tokyo restaurant has already left a bad taste in our mouths. Not mine. Japan's first naked restaurant, because remember the one
In
I did the
London.
story in London, right? This is now in Japan. Their first naked restaurant will open its doors in late July, and it's not the thought of dining in the nude with
We'll also
strangers.
close in late July.
Well, not close.
Later July.
Yeah.
Further later July.
Further later July. It's not the thought of dining in the nude with strangers that's off-putting.
Oh no.
No. It's that this restaurant has some fairly offensive rules for entry. That make it pretty clear that they're only welcoming a certain type of guest. Now, just like what we said about anything, gay, straight, I don't want to make your cake for your wedding, I don't give a shit. As long as you put up a sign, as long as I know what I'm going into, or not,
Yeah.
right? So
Definitely not going into that.
Not going into that, no. On their website, the restaurant lists restrictions on entry, including weight, age, and even body ink. Adult diners over the age of 60 won't be welcome per the upper age limit, and neither will people who are more than 15 grams or kilogram, excuse me,
Oh, I was
or
like, wow.
approximately 33 pounds.
Huh?
That's what it says here. When I read this, I
I got
went,
lost in the metric system.
so
Wait.
is this a kid's?
Oh, it's got to be a child's restaurant.
Yeah.
Over the average weight of a person of their height. 33 pounds.
33
Oh.
pounds overweight.
Oh, overweight. Gotcha.
And no tattoos will be allowed either.
Oh my God.
We've
Nothing
heard
to read.
about
I feel like
alleged
technically I might just squeak in.
we've heard about alleged age discrimination
going
faced
sideways.
by employees of restaurants, but this is a new one. As for the appeal of the restaurant, we're not quite sure. Beside the prospect of being turned away for your height and age, the restaurant will require everyone who enters to wear disposable underwear that they provide. Very chic, don't you think?
Yeah.
I think that's very chic. Also, not a naked restaurant at that point. I don't think. The restaurant does, however, promise hunky waitstaff. Hunky.
Honky?
Hunky.
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 Different vowel.
Not
Got
Hunky
it.
Brewster. Hunky.
Hunky.
Hunky honkies.
Got it.
Waitstaff who will be nearly naked. The tickets, the ticket for the opening weekend are going for over 10,000 Japanese yen. So about
which is how much American
$94.
dollars? Okay.
About $94. But before you eagerly fork over your hard-earned money, know this. Adding insult to injury, those who are deemed not to meet the ageist, sizest entry requirements will not get a refund. Thanks, but no
So you're
thanks.
saying I gotta stand up a little straighter
Suck
and suck it in a little bit?
Anyway, right? I thought, well, I'll be damned. You've got that place in London. I mean, they're just opening their doors to anybody. And they have little kind of coves
I mean,
for people.
I don't mean to be awful or pretend that I'm not fat, but I just think the Waffle House should say a sign like, if you already weigh this much, maybe you've eaten here enough.
Well,
Maybe take
keep
a
in mind,
lap.
though,
Just
that whole
say
kind
no.
of, you go now. You've been here for an hour.
Get back in your BMW.
Maybe that's a part
Drive
of it,
away.
The buffet.
Go down to the kale house.
Make sure to wash your kale first.
No, please do.
Yes.
Okay, so just
More
make
banana bread, anyone?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Hey, I'm
'Cause
not,
now
going
I-
to that. I'm not going to that restaurant.
Yeah, I want to make sure that I can't get into the Japanese restaurant. All right, so because this was driving me
Japanese
crazy, and I cannot
alleywackers.
believe you guys don't remember this.
Are we still on the open?
I
you
can't
Yes.
believe he's
Over
It
giving
was
us
the
such
Oprah
a-
Winfrey's Legends Ball. It was a 3-day celebration held by Oprah honoring 25 African American women in art, entertainment, and civil rights. It was a luncheon, white tie ball, and gospel brunch on May 22nd of 06.
Oh my God,
ye-
Al, it was 10 years ago.
a 1-hour program.
I was
about-
11.
Yeah. Shut up. But it was an ABC special, and it was a whole thing. The show was still on, but they made a big deal of
Was
that.
Diane Sawyer there?
I'm sure.
Is she black?
Love to you too,
She
Greg.
might.
It's-
I'm assuming
is.
Diane Sawyer was there and loaded.
That's probably
Why
true
not?
too. But it was a celebration
She was
of
in a dark mood.
25 African American women in art. entertainment
Thank
and
you.
civil
No.
rights.
And I will, but
I'm just
look at Aaron. He just loves
Do you
so
want
much.
us to do
Oh
an
my
entire
God.
hour on this show at some point, just so everybody
No, but
knows?
it was the power of we speak your name. I did
Have a great night, Greg. Thank you.
I just can't believe that didn't
I
come to you
just-
all
I can't-
immediately.
You know what? And I watched Oprah, but not to that degree.
Well, it was a big deal. It was like the most famous women in the world, and they did
It's
it
actually
was,
about the time, I think,
feel like
if I've
that's an
done the
Aeros-
math right, that maybe I stopped watching Oprah.
I feel like there's an Air Supply song that has something to do with like
I'm
I
all
speak
out
your
of
name,
love.
the one that you
I'm
love,
so lost without you.
Maybe better than that version, but still.
maybe it was because I was with
Say
Cliff
my
and
name. Say my name.
Oh,
When no one is around
No,
you,
I
say, baby,
speak
I
your
love
name.
you.
It's not
Why
asking.
I speak your name. I speak your name. Is that better?
Yeah, but it was one of the few times that Oprah didn't actually drive me crazy. I thought it was a very powerful thing, and the power of, like we were talking last week about victims of abuse, like when you feel like nothing. So for someone to speak your name, it's a big deal.
No.
It's what we were talking about.
Unless you're the defendant.
Meow wants to get
Says
free
the
card
man
out
who
of it.
can't
and
remember
Bianca, the
anyone's
worst part
name.
about this is she drives me fucking crazy. But my friends in 2006 were pretty drinking up her gravy. So,
That is funny.
all right, moving on.
Oh, really?
I'll let you. Thoughts and prayers for Oprah.
Finally,
Thoughts and
finally,
prayers.
She loves bread.
Real good. I love bread. I love bread. Hey. I got hooked on something.
are you? Is it you or is it me?
It was me. It's you.
Is
You.
it me?
Yep.
Got it.
I thought it meant, I'm like, I'm hooked on something. It's me.
Well, I hate when I get to stories and I want somebody else to be involved in the story and they're taking a leak.
Well, then pick a different story.
Well, no, because I like to do them in sequence.
I know. I totally.
But I'm
get
going to
that.
go ahead and do the story. I'm going to talk loud so that she can hear me. You know what makes people happy? Animals. Animals make people happy, Al. I don't know if you know this or not.
And cat things on the internet.
And you know what makes people really, really happy? Tiny animals,
Tiny.
Al.
Meow.
Luckily, there are sites that exist solely to spread this kind of happiness around.
How
And
come you're only talking to Al?
and you goat mail.
I'm your go-to person when it comes to animal chat.
Yeah, because she loves them. YouGoatMail.com is one of those new websites that gives both tiny, happy animals to people. In fact, I'm going to
Tiny,
start with this
happy
picture right now
animals,
of
people.
this little furry goat. Not live. YouGoatMail.com, as per Twitter, appears to have launched in May of 2016. It allows you to send a little plush goat to anyone you choose. Seriously, that's all they do is they send a goddamn little stuffed goat to people.
I feel like your news is all about people I was genetically produced to dislike.
Here's another goat after somebody received it. The goats look like this, according
I
to...
love it that now we get to see the goat after he's received it, like it
Yes.
aged in transport.
So this is
You've grown.
this is the goat on the website,
Uh-huh.
and then this is the goat. Hang on, this is the goat when you've received the goat.
New haircut.
He's trying to get away. You'll
then-
notice by the forward motion of his paws that he hates the story.
And these are
He's very bad.
these
at all
are
this.
these are kinfolk
sheep, not
of goat who
Whatever.
are angry about this
Why you
story.
gotta be so goddamn specific?
So again, we're gonna go
Wait,
back.
we know those goats.
Yeah, so
Kevin.
you goat mail.
Kevin, you know who you are.
There's that. And again, cat, because you were gone. This is the goat after you've received it, which is different than this goat, only because this goat
Has not been sent yet.
has not been
and
sent.
it's sitting
Right.
differently.
It has not
Yeah.
been through the horrors of the United Postal Service
And then these are the goats in the hills of the Sound of Music, where
with a lonely goat herd.
yes,
It's somewhere off camera. Well, we can't see the
Olé,
goat number one's
olé,
ass, so we
olé.
may be able to
Oh.
we may be able to find the lonely goat herd a little sooner than we thought.
You know, that really gets my goat.
that. Remember last week the shepherd was asleep as a sheep. The shepherd was a sheep.
I think that's how we got to spit fuck.
Be afraid. Be afraid. I love that. I love it.
I'm saving my favorite story for the end. Go ahead,
They're
Marn.
done. Well,
I'm glad that one wasn't your favorite.
No, I got one
I don't
more.
mean to judge, but my thoughts and prayers are with you.
Certainly was mine.
I was gonna go.
Oh, you were gonna go? Uh-oh.
No,
and
here we
change
go.
You
your mind.
did.
So.
I just heard you.
I was going to do a lovely story, but I think I'm gonna change it.
Oh. It's called editing.
Well, exactly.
Right on the fly.
It's a public hazard announcement.
Oh, thank you.
A
Oh.
public health hazard.
Okay.
The island country of Iceland has officially declared Christianity a public health hazard.
Oh, it is.
The law proclaiming the radical idea was signed recently by Prime Minister Johansson in the spirit of protecting the elderly from scams or children from nightmares and the general population from chicanery. Am I saying that right?
What
Chicanery?
country are we in?
Iceland.
Ah, you know, ahead
Yes,
of their
Icelandic
time,
state.
often the Icelandic people, they're keep an
pretty
eye
good.
on those people.
Pretty good.
They're like Iowa in a weird way.
They're like Iowa.
They got stuff to say.
As long as the law, as strong as the law's language is, it does not restrict the free exercise of religion by any citizen or visitor. A coalition of Lutherans, Catholics, and other Christian sects have formed an organization to combat the image that they contribute to the erosion of psychological well-being. Yes, certain rogues have used Christianity to fleece the old and give hellish nightmares to the young. However, faith requires the acknowledgement of not knowing, and we can all agree simplistic and often contradictory answers found in the Bible are the answers to not knowing. I got very confused by all of it.
Yeah, that sentence seemed hard for you.
I'm struggling.
Wow.
The new law urges Icelandic society to pick up a book and to engage fellow human beings in the spirit of compassion, regardless of creed. It also calls for research to determine the best path to promote humanist values around the world. It's not a witch hunt. Pro-reason activists hail the recent events as a victory against superstition. Some local Catholics are calling the measure a witch hunt. A witch hunt is where a mob attacks the weakest members of society and prosecutes them, typically via a sham trial. The mob then executes the poor soul.
By fire.
The last time I checked, the
France.
Catholic Church were the undisputed champions of the world in such games for centuries. American Republican presidential hopefuls are calling the events transpiring in Iceland dangerous and wonder if such a brazen act of divine disobedience may mean that the country is not fit to be in NATO. Both Democratic candidates are afraid to point out that the predominantly Muslim country of Turkey is, well, a predominantly Muslim country, because then they would be branded as eggheads. Did anyone realize that this was a fictitious story at any point in time?
No.
No. It's a fictitious story. To say that it's like this health hazard and like going through and getting rid of all the religion, thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, I mean,
Thoughts and prayers.
I was kind
'Cause
of
you
with
can
it, like,
fall into it
yeah,
to a degree.
Because
except
my
for that
thing
one
was
that I
like, well, that's
stumbled
good
over.
that you can still practice your religion, but in the public discourse,
Right.
or like as far as like reverse mortgaging the elderly, maybe
Right.
keep that out of it. I don't know. And humanists, that's the new movement that I've been kind of reading about, thanks to Alexander Hamilton,
Very nice.
because I'm reading his biography now that the musical was
Alexander
based
Hamilton.
on.
Huh?
Mr.
Yeah.
Burr, sir.
I
You're
just
the
thought it was
worst,
interesting
Burr.
because I got totally into it.
Most
and
of our
was like,
founding fathers
oh.
were humanists.
Humanists.
And what's the other thing that you said there? You rattled off another one towards the end.
They
um,
are.
Federalists.
No.
No.
Southern motherfucking Democratic
This
Republicans.
is other motherfucking, yeah.
No. It was about Christianity, Catholics.
Another moment of silence.
Yeah,
Observer.
okay, wait, moment of silence. But anyways, it was in there,
hope
you
you-
said it.
I
But
hope you
humanists, and
collected
you
your
had another
thoughts
one
and
about
prayers. During
right
that
here.
silence.
I'm looking.
it's another one of the movements where you go with
Bowel.
like rational thought and you go through research and stuff like that instead of relying on an old
it a
book that
jackal?
has no proof.
Is it a jackal?
Okay.
Reasonists.
Reasonists. Okay.
Reasonists.
Okay.
Where you look to, like, the Greeks said that Apollo drove the sun across the sky in his chariot because they couldn't explain how the sun got from one end to the other. So they introduced a god of the sun to get it from,
And then Eliza married an Icarus, and he's flown too close to
because
the
the sun, yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, you end up in trouble.
That's where they came up
And
with
in Hamilton
suntan
and
oil.
everything.
but it's just one of those things that they're used to explain things that you couldn't explain back then.
Right.
Like, how did they call Australia to tell them about the flood? And then the best part is a friend of mine that lives in, she's Scottish, said to me the other day, she's like, I'm sorry, there was a flood and we had to do something different than we do every fucking time it rains.
Right.
Because they were like, it's going to rain for 40 days. She's like, it's been raining for 40 fucking years. Nobody's built a boat yet. Dog's still alive.
Oh, the Scots.
So that flood
Noah
story.
built an ark.
But that flood story runs into a lot of problems. You know what I mean? But it's all to explain something that they couldn't explain at the time.
Well, and I think that's why I got sucked into reading this, because I thought,
Yeah.
I enjoy the music. It's very nice.
Oh, and you know what pisses me off about this movie?
It's like
No, I didn't want. I was the Chariots of Fire, dumbass.
But it's a
That's-
religious movie.
I know, I was ready to run.
You've ruined the whole fun joke. It's not fun anymore. Stop.
My unicorn is playing.
I thought you were playing because
Very
that's a race between a Christian and a Jew in the
No,
Olympics.
I was doing it because it was a chariot pulling the fire or sun across the sky.
Anyway,
I've never seen the movie.
Another pun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They don't
thoughts
all
and
work.
prayers.
Our thoughts and prayers are
Oh
with your
my
fun
God,
brothers.
let's get out of this segment by
All
me
right.
doing the last
All right.
goddamn story, and then we can move on to whatever the hell Al wants
We're
to talk
still on
about.
a segment.
Yeah.
I thought we had just
Maybe the
evolved
drinking word
into-
came too early. Maybe we introduced
No,
the
because
liquor.
I haven't. I should drink more.
I'm 2 pints of Sam Adams and I'm working on 3 over
It's all
here.
fun and games until someone gets their body stuck in a giant Barney dinosaur head. That's what happened to 15-year-old Darby Reiser of Trustville, Alabama on Sunday night when the teen said that she found the giant Barney head in a friend's house. Darby told ABC News Today that she wanted to scare her friends when they came downstairs, but the prank turned out to be a joke on her when she couldn't get the oversized dinosaur head off of her body. When Darby sat down, she said the head sort of wobbled and scooched down over her shoulders, stopping just above her elbows and giving her short little Barney arms. So, my favorite, as I read the rest of this story,
My T-Rex friend.
as I read the rest of this story, when they decided that they couldn't get the Barney head off, they threw her in the car. So they load up in the car and then take pictures of her in the Barney head.
Well, like you do.
Well,
like
you
you
have
do.
to.
And so before they head out of the garage, there she is in the Barney head of the car.
Now, Mom, you can't pretend you were at all concerned about your daughter when you can't get
Right.
that stupid shit-eating grin up.
So
Jeez.
they get her.
That's funny.
So here's her little short little Barney arms. So all the girls started trying to pull it off, but it wasn't budging, Darby said. I started getting a little claustrophobic and it felt like it was closing in on me. At one point, Darby said her friends tried to rub Vaseline on her arms. Though the head moved up a little bit, it still wouldn't come off all the way. One of Darby's friends had a boyfriend at the Trustville Fire Department, so they called to ask for help.
He chainsawed it off.
Since Darby and her friend's mother didn't want to alarm the whole neighborhood with sirens, she said they decided to drive her to the fire station themselves rather than have the trucks come there. Soon enough, they saw the fire department lieutenant Vince Bruno said, soon enough, we saw a group of young girls waddling with one who had a Barney head stuck on her up our sidewalk to the fire station.
Which group of girls do you think it is, sir? It
So-
might be the one with the Barney stuck on her head.
So she's sitting in the fire station.
Just explaining politics and the
I'm
size
just
of her
enjoying
laugh.
the guy laughing his ass off.
So let me tell
Exactly.
you.
You can't pretend anyone is concerned for her well-being
'Cause
when
the-
every picture contains someone with a
Right.
shit-eating grin.
The shit eating.
Having
the
trouble with
shit-eating-
words, sir?
The fire department spokesman said it was definitely amusing, but of course we had to take it seriously as well. He explained that he had a few of the other firefighters tried to pull the head off of the bar, but at first there was no luck. Then they made a few release cuts into the head
Yeah.
made
Does
of
no one have scissors in
fiberglass.
this fucking story?
Yeah. So then they all get together, they get around her, they try to pull it off of her. Then
God, for
finally, freedom at last. They get the thing off of her.
Free at last.
And the
Free
whole
at
Sunday
last.
night winds
Thank
up
Barney
with her
Almighty.
own meme of Jurassic Park.
I have a feeling
Thoughts and
that
prayers.
they did not get their deposit back.
No.
Probably not.
Thoughts and prayers with that little girl.
Oh, both.
Thoughts and
But I
prayers.
thought this whole thing, when they load everybody up in the fucking car and they're like, well, let's
That's
take a picture
funny.
of this. I'm like, nobody thinks this is serious. This is.
Bitches, you were all laughing at me.
You're gonna be
I'm
fine.
sorry, if you got your head stuck in a mascot
Yeah.
mask, I would
That's-
not.
I would think
At
that's
least
think it was very
hysterical.
At least it was
Serious
the
either,
front half of the Barney costume.
Oh, there is that.
Let's be grateful.
That is true.
That's funny and true
That is,
all at the
that's
same
good
time.
stuff. I like that story.
Whoa. Alfie, are you ready for. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I have to stop something. Otherwise,
I feel like I have to get your funeral arrangements
you'll
ready.
chastise me. Well, if this cough doesn't quit. Hokey smokes. I think you're ready to do your segment. Are you?
Wrapped lozenge?
Sure, we do.
Yeah.
I have. No, I have.
Loving that
my
little
own.
girl.
It's
Could
all right.
you
here.
unwrap it?
Please unwrap it so that you don't interrupt the scene.
Amina, imagine trying to pee with that thing on your head. Wrong bathroom all the way.
All
Yeah.
the way. Is there a fluffy animal bathroom I could go to, please? Thank you very
Please
much.
go to the Waffle House.
Al Perkins.
All right, so Linda Carter comes to Supergirl. Orange is the New Black is back. We have a closing date for a fun show, but it comes on tour. We have someone at the Death Den that really shouldn't be there. And then just to entertain me, Bernie's not on the vice presidential pick list for Hillary Clinton. Isn't that
For nobody.
shocking?
Yes.
Although our thoughts and prayers are with him. At
Oh, of
this
course. We'll have a moment
troubled-
of silence later.
troubled time.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
Before we do that, can anyone in the chat room, are you actually drinking along with thoughts and
Thoughts
prayers?
and
Yeah, because it's brutal.
I'm concerned
prayers.
for your safety.
Because our thoughts and prayers are with you.
I'm enjoying that.
I don't want to
that,
send my thoughts and prayers to your funeral. Maybe sip some water.
yeah.
Well, as long as you're not going anywhere.
Because I gotta
who
tell you, I
cares?
went from 0 to bombed.
Alcohol
really
poisoning is a thing.
quickly. It is.
I like
It
it.
certainly
No
is.
one has died on this in this
Well,
cast.
not yet.
In this cast of this show yet, and we've
But we-
I've tried.
and we've drank a lot.
I've tried.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, seasoned professionals here.
I appreciate Nero. These are my kind of people. About that Barney story. That's
Oh
funny.
yeah. Coming up next week, a Barney head in the studio.
Okay, so in our
continue.
death den today, and it's very sad. An actor that I really enjoyed was killed in a really, really bizarre car accident the other day. Anton Yelchin, 27 years old,
yeah.
from this recently of the Star Trek series, and I'll list some other movies he's been in, was killed when he got out of his car for some reason. The car was in neutral, not in park, and it rolled down the driveway and pinned him against his own security gate and killed him.
Oh my God!
And he was kind of like left there for dead till people at a rehearsal that he didn't show up for, they came and found him. Turns out this Jeep Cherokee is in recall for, it has some kind of fancy standard shift that has like 7 or 8 notches instead of 5. And so through no fault of, like, it's not a defect in the thing, it's just a fault of, like, people don't really know how to use it.
Okay.
That people don't realize that they're in neutral and not in a park mode.
Right.
I guess there's another car that has the same thing, but it's been recalled.
In the 80s, it was the Audi 5000 that used to launch.
It's like that time I drove a Volkswagen. My friend couldn't find reverse because instead of being, to the right and down, it was to the left and up.
Up, yeah.
okay.
And so she
Oh.
put that shit in neutral, got out and pushed the car out of the spot to borrow my car, rather than come back into the bar and be like, I can't drive your
figured
car.
out, until I figured out a different way. It was awful. But so he's been a child actor since he was very young. He was in an episode of ER, and because I was an ER junkie, I remember him from that. But I was always a fan
Law
of
and
his.
Order. I
Yeah,
totally
all over the
remember.
place, all the NBC shows he had
Yeah.
worked, steady working actor. But when he was 17, he was in Alpha Dog.
Good
And
idea, man.
he was the young kid who's kidnapped when his brother can't pay back the money he owes. So Alpha Dog, Justin Timberlake is in it. It's a really good movie, and it's really a good role for him. And then he was in Charlie Bartlett, a movie that I really liked. He was in Terminator Salvation, another one that no one else liked, but I liked that one.
Okay.
Charlie Bartlett, I got to find out more about that because I really liked it. He was in The Beaver, which I didn't see. That's the one with Mel Gibson that Jodie Foster directed.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
Like Crazy, he was in the remake of Fright Night, which I really enjoy, the original Fright Night from the 80s. And I liked that remake. It didn't make a lot of money. And then he was in the 2 Star Trek movies. And he was just in an indie thriller called Green Room that was released in April that got a lot of good reviews, with Patrick Stewart playing a neo-Nazi. So he's had he's been a working actor for almost his entire life. And I know Aaron will hate me for saying this, but I enjoyed both of the Star Trek movies, and I'm looking forward to another one.
So he worked with Patrick Stewart in this other indie film, and
No, Patrick Stewart's not in those Star Trek movies.
he's not.
He's the other Star Trek. He's
Next
the Next
Generation.
Generation.
oh, okay.
These are
My
the
bad.
these
Sorry,
are the
guys.
These are the reboots.
I didn't realize. Okay.
That
Sorry.
the Trekkie realists or whatever they're called.
Right.
They hate them because they hate everything. But they were. But for someone who's not that big on Star Trek, I found them to be
Write down
very
Trekkie
entertaining movies.
realists on the
Yeah.
list.
Well,
I found them very
I'm
entertaining,
just
but I'm
watching watching the chat room.
Yeah, exactly. But he was a very young child. I mean, there's child actors and then there's child actors. Like George Clooney started at 17 and is a child actor.
Right.
This kid was very young. Or like you could be Jodie Foster and start off at like as an infant in a diaper. Like
I was gonna go to Drew Barrymore, but similar.
again, yeah.
Very.
But then you can always go younger because Jodie Foster is like the youngest of all. Well, actually, what's her butt's the Gerber
Shirley
baby?
Temple?
No. Jodie Foster was way younger than Shirley Temple.
Was she? Okay.
Literally in diapers. She's the
didn't
Copper
realize it.
Star girl. She's
I
the
didn't realize
Coppertone,
that.
Coppertone girl.
Coppertone girl. I didn't realize
And
that. Okay.
Brooke Shields is the Gerber baby.
I did not realize that.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
these people like famous since birth.
Okay.
So, anyways, it was just a sad story and an up and
Good
coming
night, Jenny.
up and
Thanks for
coming
joining us.
up and coming actor, really at the prime of his career. Great parts. There was one other movie that wasn't on that list. I went to someone else's list. I can't think of what there was another movie he was in, but Charlie Bartlett is a really good movie too. That's the one that as soon as I went to the list to be like, okay, what did I really see him in? And
Right.
after Alpha Dog, it was Charlie Bartlett that I really liked. So I thought that was very sad. and weird, and just a weird, bizarre way to go, to be run over by your own
Oh,
car,
that's- yeah.
kind of like whatever happened to
Yeah.
Baby Jane style.
Freak
So-
accidents.
Yeah, like that's kind of like the ultimate death den win, is to be like run over by his own car at 27. Just strange.
Yeah, that is weird.
Linda Carter, television's Wonder Woman,
Yes.
and I think the a private moment in the bathroom alone with your laptop for many of us as children of both sexes and all persuasions,
Yeah. Yeah.
and local resident of Arcadia.
Yes.
Will be coming to Supergirl as the U.S. president next year when it comes back to the CW. And I just love it when
That only makes sense.
and
It does,
you know,
I like
an
that.
actress of a certain age gets work, like everyone on American Horror Story. That every actress you've ever liked that hasn't had a job in a while finds a home on American Horror Story.
When is Lauren Tewes going to get a spot on that?
I think she's still in rehab.
For the 12th time. But God
And if-
bless her for keep trying.
And if Mary from
No.
Eight is Enough is still alive, she's probably in there with her.
Oh.
They're lesbian lovers.
So they can get on the Scott Baio bandwagon and just sue all of us.
Yeah.
And then it's back on Netflix. I wish I had a laptop as a child.
He was talking about last week, Aaron.
It's easier to wipe those off than it is a magazine page.
That's a true.
That shit sticks.
And you can securely lock it so your mom can't find it.
Yeah. And ask why you would ever do that to another person. It's a legitimate question.
I had a good weekend. I don't want to talk about
In
it.
what world is this sexy time? Orange is the New Black, back on Netflix.
Thank God.
And it's still suffering from Dexter season 4 syndrome, where they've had like the best big bad
Oh, sure.
ever, and you're just always feeling the lack of, I think her name is Lorraine Tresant, who was V.
Yeah.
And that show will always suffer from the absence
No
of
more big
a
bad, right.
supervillain.
Yeah.
Because she was so delicious and so fantastic. And
But let me tell you how much I love hating Chapman.
and she gave me Ajita. Oh,
Yeah.
preach on.
Let me tell you how much I love hating this woman and hope that she just stays in prison forever. Because
Oh, I want her to get out because I want the show to go on, but without her, she's the worst
No,
character.
I want horrible things to just keep happening to her.
And do they?
Oh,
Not yet. I'm only on.
anecdotally, kind of. But
I tried to watch it the other night and I couldn't stay awake because I was so lost. And then luckily, God bless the internet, there is a wiki page for Orange is the New Black.
Oh, because you couldn't remember?
So I needed a little recap or refresher, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch the last episode of the last season.
Sure.
Just to get me back
Kinda
to
catch
speed,
up.
because I was really lost on Laura Prepon's, or Prepon, how do you say her last name?
Whatever.
I was
Gray.
really lost on
Lots.
her story,
Gray
her
Prepon.
storyline,
Pardon
and
me.
she does look good.
Doesn't she,
I
though?
I mean, I get a little tingle for some of the
I
ladies
mean,
on that show too, but
Out in the world, she cray, whatever.
Uh-huh.
She could be all Scientologist, whatever crazy she wants to be.
Right.
But on the show,
she's making the little man in the boat swim a little bit. I gotta
listen,
tell you,
boss.
yeah,
Right.
the tide is rolling in on her. I enjoy the prison eye makeup. And I have to say, Uzo Aduba.
Uh-huh.
I made all the right
Sure.
noises. I'm close.
Adubo.
Uzo Aduba, really, really solid growth. Like the fact that they're writing that character so strongly, and
Right.
that she recognizes someone crazier than her. Was
Yes.
fantastic.
Oh, you got to there?
I
That's
need a
fantastic.
soulmate, but not one that's got the gingerbread crazy inside of her.
I'm out.
Her whole introduction of the start of her arc for this year
Okay.
is just brilliant.
Yeah.
I think I have lead paint poisoning. Imagine something else. I'm only imagining lead paint poisoning. And when she looks at it, is it Tasty or Cindy? Because I get Tasty and Cindy confused.
Cindy's the new Jew.
Yeah, the new oh my god, her new Juju. Just one of the funniest fucking things. If they can fit new Juju into Hamilton, my life would be complete. If all of a sudden Aaron Burr found some new Juju. But when
Sir.
when she tells her, I need to find a soulmate who doesn't have gingerbread crazy inside of her, I fucking lost it. I was like in front of my TV like, we're gonna find a way to use gingerbread crazy inside me.
She's talking to Tasty. They're real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they're
Tasty,
real.
yeah.
It's Tasty.
And Tasty having the desk job. Somebody
Oh,
called.
that's fantastic.
It was a white woman. She said something about a get together.
Well, and if you remember,
I
like
think
in
her name was Linda. Could have been Linda.
in the first and second season, like that was Tasty's favorite thing to do, was to play the white girl. And now she gets to on the phone all the time, and I just can't get enough. I just keep thinking, Tasty, answer the phone and be a white woman, because
hilarious. It's a delight. It really is a delight. And
We're going to binge watch that.
And I'm only halfway
Come
through,
out,
and Sharon
so.
looked at me today. She's like, "Did you finish today?" I'm like, "No, I had the fucking kids all day. What am I supposed to do all day?"
It's 13 hours, people.
Well, no, I'm 7 in, so I conceivably could have today, but I
Yeah.
had to lock the children into a room
Sure.
by themselves, and
Of course.
And a lot less sex
Sometimes
this
you
season.
frown on
Frowned
that.
upon,
Yeah.
I'm on episode 4 and a lot less sex.
agreed.
Which I was surprised by. But very, very good, and it's just a delight. It's just the best reason to love. It is the present that happens every June that makes it okay to sit in your house with the air conditioning.
Right.
Because I'll die outside, so I might as well stay in here and
Might as
enjoy
well just stay
13
in
hours
here
of
and do
delightful
this.
television.
Sure.
Sad news, but good news for the rest of us around the country. Fun Home closes September 10th on Broadway before going on tour.
Okay.
So many members of the cast will just transition into the
Oh, they're
tour.
gonna go on the tour.
They'll go on the tour. They've been doing that with a lot of shows lately. They did it with Newsies. They did it with Hair. They just did it with
If
Pippin.
then-
If Then. As they closed, they just started the tour, so it kind of lined up.
Okay.
So that's sad but good for us because Fun Home comes. I think
It comes here, not next season, but the following. It comes to Phoenix in 2017, 2018, the same year that Hamilton does. But in January, it'll be in Vegas at the Smith
Right.
Center.
Yep.
and I
That's
can't
the closest that I know
December,
that it's
in
coming
December, it's going
out
to be
west.
in Minnesota. I know
And
that.
I think
I'm
it's
thinking
I
of
think
going
it's
home
part
for
of our tour at the Pantages.
Again, you Googled Lauren Tweez. That's funny.
I did. I was like, wait, who?
Just making sure you know who she is.
Yes.
So I really don't have much
just
for
checking.
entertainment.
Crap,
But
that
this
means
was
I've got a
entertaining for
segment.
me and nobody else. But so they've released the short list of names that are supposedly being considered for Clinton for her vice presidential running mate.
Ooh, who is it?
Julian Castro or Julian Castro
Uh-huh.
is on the short list. Elizabeth Warren, which I think would be a mistake to take her out of her Senate seat.
I agree.
And then he's a senator. He's a sitting senator from Ohio, and his name always escapes me. But if he was chosen, he would get pulled out of the senator. He would get pulled, have to resign as senator from Ohio and be replaced by the Republican governor.
Rob Portman? Or no, it'd have to be Sherrod Brown.
Yeah, Sherrod Brown.
Sherrod.
And that's the name that keeps getting thrown around. Progressives are really hoping that it's Elizabeth Warren. To me,
We love Elizabeth Warren.
It's not the best use of
Elizabeth
her.
Warren has a similar script to Bernie Sanders, but she's smart about it. Like, she
Yeah.
actually has, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of criticism came to Bernie when it was like, okay, how are you going to do this? And it's still very, like, broad stroke, very, very
Yeah.
dreamy.
But Elizabeth Warren's got
Warren
a
is
plan.
smart. Like, she's an economist. She's basically Jed Bartlett
Yeah.
as a woman in the Senate. So yeah, she's an economist. She has a plan. She understands economic issues. She understands what actually goes into things.
I think my boyfriend wants to date her.
Yes. Oh yeah.
She's got a big heart on for old
Yeah,
Lauren
But
there.
and honestly, the
That-
documentary, I think it's on Netflix on streaming. It's called Maxed Out. It's from 2006, and it's a documentary that pretty much called the housing crisis as it started to happen. Like, it came out, and people thought it was like complete science fiction, that it would all go wrong, and it wasn't. It happened like almost as she says, and she's interviewed constantly about credit card debt, about like all these different practices. She's got such a just so smart on the economic policy. And it would be a shame to give up that, because she can have that Senate seat for the rest of her life.
Forever, right.
And we all watch Veep, so we all know about that job.
Except for Aaron.
But I have to tell you, and we do have to end on this note, and the reason that I had that as my VP list was to remember to talk about this week's episode of Veep. For the few of you that are like a fan of this show, they had the greatest episode of Veep that's ever aired.
I'm so sad because I haven't
this
watched
week,
it yet.
and you won't get through it in one. Like, it takes more than
Okay.
one viewing.
Okay.
It's so full and rich.
That you miss things as your...
Oh,
Yeah.
I was missing things as I couldn't watch fast enough. But the daughter, they introduce Selena Meyer's horrible mother, all in the past tense of just being this woman that clearly Selena Meyers did not like her mother, and her mother was cruel and not, just all the mean things she said. But she's dead for the whole episode. Well, because Selena's daughter and Mima's granddaughter, Catherine, has been becoming a lesbian and making a documentary, which everyone thinks is some kind of student film. Not that she wants to be a filmmaker and it's a real film that's going to be shown to people. She's filming the episodes as they're happening from the other corner of the room. So you know the joke is coming. You've spent this entire short season knowing that there's some other edited version of the show about to be shown.
Right.
So you know the joke is coming. It's just been a slow 8-episode ride into what is this movie going to be like, and the movie is so much worse than you could ever imagine. So much more horrible, and everyone behaves horribly while Jonah, the cloud botherer, has been sleeping with a high school student and can't get to Congress to vote for Selena for president. It's just fucking wrong. The fact that they explain in detail that this whole year what happens in an electoral college tie, how it gets settled, what would go on, how it would go from the House of Representatives to the Senate, the importance of winning your House and your Senate if it's your party in case of an electoral tie, which there were many predictions in 2012 that that's how that was going to end.
Wait, so the incoming House and Senate or the outgoing House and Senate?
The incoming, because they get sworn in on January 3rd and the president isn't until January 20th. Which is what we were talking about with Obama, that he could, if they win the Senate, if the Democrats win the Senate, he could appoint a judge on January 4th that could
because
be...
he doesn't get the boot for another week and a half.
Another week and a half. So he could appoint somebody and have a new judge still in his term. So, as I said, this show, and the people on MSNBC will even tell you, like, there is no closer depiction of politics than this just shit show of a television show.
It's fantastic.
But the best line, and it wasn't political, is when they're burying the grandmother, and Selena's at the edge of the grave, not realizing that she's mic'd, and she's like, I don't think that's deep enough. Is that deep enough? Does that look deep enough? And her chief of staff is like, I'd go deeper. And she looks at the minister, and she's like, can this go deeper? Can she be buried deeper? And like just the look on the minister's face of like, oh shit. And the camera's just rolling. It's just such a payoff for like people that have been watching the show for years, and they even go back a couple seasons to get Selena in the boy wig, where everyone's like, yeah, you're young enough to be my sibling because she looks like a boy, not a girl.
Oh no.
Just fucked up. Fucked up. And so funny, and I just have to schedule another appointment to watch that because I couldn't make it through it. I was literally howling at the moon at parts of it, and I was like, I cannot. And a tie is like kissing your sister, and then they just make it dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, and the daughter is dating the body double for Julia Louis-Dreyfus, the person that they hope that the shooter will shoot instead of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, so they hire a bodyguard that's supposed to look like her, so she literally is kissing her sister because that becomes her lover. It's so fucking wrong.
It is so wrong. No, it's so wrong.
Feels like not okay.
And the joke is so off-putting, and the fact that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is so offended.
We're sure you probably knew. But there's no way to know. Both of them are so kind of
flat,
no affect.
And it's what's her butt? What's her name? She's been Chloe Duvall, who's been a lesbian in every movie she's ever been in, is Julia Louis-Dreyfus's body double. And when you see her and you realize that somebody's trying to tell them that they look alike, except for they're the same height, it's so fucking wrong.
Yeah, that's about it.
Delicious.
Yeah,
delicious.
Breaking news.
Oh, is there?
Oh, breaking news. That's it for entertainment.
And just to Trump's evangelical advisory board was announced.
Oh, God.
Oh, hang on.
Donald Trump has just brought Michelle Bachmann on board to join his campaign, while also narrowing down his list of running mates in the process, some of whom are rather unconventional.
Read them.
Unconventional. So,
were you talking to the people in the hallway there for a minute when you went unconventional?
Unconventional. I was trying to be polite and kind of get away from the. Actually, I was just moving. Possible VP. Bachmann ran as an unsuccessful unsuccessful presidential campaign in 2012. She is on the list, but probably not going to be the running mate. The current list has been narrowed down. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, Tennessee Republican Bob Corker. Not super familiar, but I like that. Trump and Corker.
I'm 10. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it works.
And Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions are
That one-
reportedly high on the list, while Palin and former House Speaker Newt Gingrich are still under consideration. And Jerry Falwell and Michelle Bachmann are going to be on that advisory committee because Muslims are bad.
And there you have breaking news.
And think of who's campaigning for him. Now you have Bachmann on the trail, who can't make a coherent sentence with two hands, and her twin sister Sarah Palin, the winking imbecile. Chris Christie,
Who doesn't pass
whose
a Krispy
approval ratings
Kreme.
are like in the toilet now.
Oh, yeah.
So he can't bring
Yeah.
anybody New Jersey. He can't bring New Jersey to New Jersey.
No,
Right.
absolutely.
He can't get them to like Bruce Springsteen anymore.
Let's
You have the Wicked Witch of the West,
Yeah,
who's got all the appeal of that burlap sack on that wall.
yeah.
I mean, those are her
Those are the people
surrogates
he's
to send
picking.
out. Are you going to go to a Michelle Bachmann rally and listen to that nonsense with a gay guy
I kind of
just
can.
dancing behind her?
I'm
I
not
would
gonna-
go. I would go.
I'm
I just
so
sold it. I just sold it to myself. God damn it!
I'm not gonna lie. If Michelle Bachmann comes here, I will dress up as a Republican and I will be there. I don't know how one dresses, but
And
I'm
I'm
just
gonna-
gonna try to figure that out.
I'm going to play a little
I'll take
Sylvester
off
and
my
see if I can
hat.
get Marcus to dance.
I'll tweeze my hair. We'll get Marcus Bachmann.
I don't know. You know, it may not be as exciting as you think. Our friend Gina Florio went to the latest Trump rally.
I know. I heard that. Okay.
And it was a total snooze fest.
Was it really?
Yeah, she said he just flings out taglines and
Yeah.
the crowd cheers like half-heartedly at this point. The
Okay.
place was not even half full.
I knew that. I loved that.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody saw this today on online.
I love that.
It's a photo op meme of
Hey, Lynn.
with Christian leaders right next to his Playboy picture with him with a porn star. I don't know if anybody caught that. That there's his Playboy shot right in the.
Oh.
He
Oh,
is
yeah.
just with all the right people.
And,
he is.
and
Class and prayers.
what's right
Class.
behind him? Like in the middle when you
Oh, him.
zoomed in?
They're all pictures of him.
No. But is that another Playboy?
Above her head.
oh,
In
Oh,
the
no. No, Palmdale or something. It's probably like
okay.
Palm Desert's greatest
Okay.
hits.
Okay.
oh, who knows? I don't know.
I didn't know if that was another girly.
And then they
Really
had
mag?
the USA Today.
Palin.
The Reader's Digest of News.
Yeah, exactly.
I greatly enjoy them.
Our nation's McPaper. But they did a really in-depth report of where his money has gone,
Thoughts and
of the
prayers.
millions of dollars that have been spent. And Rachel Maddow got at it today. Out of every $6 goes to himself or his family. He pays with his campaign donations, pays his rent at the Florida vacation home, pays his rent and electricity at Trump Tower, pays his son's winery, pays his own jet company that he supposedly owns the jet, but he has to pay them. So that's where all this money is going. It's like some of it is 1/6. In May, it was 1/10 of every dollar of the very little money he's raised. It's all just
Right.
going to him. It's just nepotism, at the worst degree, because it's not even nepotism. It's himself.
Right.
It's worse than nepotism.
Neponarcissism?
Yeah.
I don't,
Oh, I like
He
that.
rents
That's
his
good.
own facilities.
That's
He
good.
he stages things at venues that he owns in some way or shape or form.
And then pays himself like
And then pays
half
himself,
a million,
right.
like paid $500,000 to himself to rent the property in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, but USA
don't
Today.
you wish you'd have thought of it? I
go to
kind of do.
go to
Yeah,
USA
kind of
Today,
do.
and they've done it, and it's been vetted, and
well,
like
I'm
some
gonna
of the
watch
things that are
Rachel
going
when we're
around,
done,
some of
and
the
it's on
things,
there.
some of the things that are
Wow.
being tossed around on the interwebs are not quite true.
Yeah.
But that one is shocking. That money's just going to himself. It's not going to help reelect anybody. It's not going to any paid people.
So tell me this:
Unreal.
the smattering of basically just Facebook headlines that I've seen so far about delegates basically jumping ship and voting with their heart. Is that a thing? Is that
Now,
is
what
that a
the-
thing that
it's-
can happen?
It is a woman in Colorado, and I couldn't find anything like out of the general thing. I just had to go with the MSNBC interview that I just read. She is on the rules committee. There's right over 150. I can't remember the exact number. People on the rules committee for the Republican convention, and they
So
decide.
there's more people on the rules committee for the convention than there are in the U.S. Senate, is what you're telling me.
Yes,
Okay,
Wow.
carry on.
yes,
Okay.
2 per state.
Yeah.
So
100.
So they have this rules committee,
you.
and what they have to do is, I think they have to get a third of the people to vote. For some reason, they need like 45 to 50 people to vote for it, and they're putting in this morals clause, this strongly held religious or personal beliefs.
Deeply held personal beliefs.
Right.
Deeply held
Thoughts and
personal
prayers.
beliefs, and they can be about. And somebody's got to help me with the word, Aaron. If you're on there, it used to be in most movie stars. Oh, in moral interpretude. Find me the right how you really say that.
Sounds right, but
I'm putting a letter in the wrong place.
It's not interpretude, it's turpitude.
Moral
Meaning
turpitude.
depravity and wickedness.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So moral turpitude is on there. So 2 divorces for the Republicans is bad because the sanctity of marriage and
Right.
what God has joined, let no man put us under.
Right.
It's my favorite Bible quote because you can throw it at anybody anytime.
All I hear is Ross Geller going, 3 divorces.
Yep, three
divorces.
it's in 2 Corinthians.
Yeah. So there's that. There's racism. So she listed all the reasons, and she said she's got like 16 or 17 people already on the Rules Committee voting, and she goes, and the best part is I don't even have the list yet. Like, she hasn't been in contact with the,
She
with the
hasn't
list
even
yet.
started campaigning.
She just started with people I saw yesterday. So it's an interesting community standards of justice, honesty, and the reason that I always
read that in a way that people that are listening can understand.
Oh, moral turpitude is a legal concept in the United States and some other countries that refers to conduct that is considered contrary to community standards of justice, honesty, or good morals. This term
This term.
This term appears. Turn page. This term appears in U.S. immigration law beginning in the 19th century. So the good thing about this shit and his not releasing his taxes plays into this is all the things he's not doing that you could object to. The divorces fall under it. So if they get this passed, and it's not very controversial, especially for Republicans to be a little fucking judgy on certain topics.
What?
That they could say, I can't
Stop
with
it.
good conscience
Right.
because all they're doing is pushing bathroom and marriage votes. That this it's not hypocritical of them at all. It's what they've been pushing all along to say, if in good conscience, you cannot
Follow the letter of the law.
follow along and vote for this person, then your vote would automatically become an open delegate and you could vote your conscience. And it's really fucking tricky, and it's one of those times where the Republicans would actually be playing by their own rules correctly and being like, yes, they shouldn't, they should be able to voice an objection because they say that all the time. It's, kind of bullshit when they do it in public, kind of how like more guns helps everybody, but guess what's not allowed at the Republican National Convention?
More
Guns.
guns.
Any guns.
love
Any
No, I know.
guns.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I loved that when I heard that. I was
Yeah.
like, what? Wait a minute.
That's
What's the
weird.
one thing you can't bring into a Trump rally?
Guns.
Gun. Right.
Yeah. So
Which is sad because I just bought a brand new AR-15 and I wanted to show it to him.
yeah,
No, I didn't even have, there was no waiting period.
No, it's
It's
just
kind of
Down
like
at the Swap Mart.
oh.
this EpiPen that I got from a friend. They really wanted me to have it. They were like holding their throat and handing it to me, and then they died. So I assume they wanted me to have it.
Exactly.
It's a horrible joke, but it makes me laugh.
It's a
every
really
time.
terrible joke. But all right.
I got this EpiPen from my friend. They seem to really want me to have it.
Well, I don't know.
Aaron
Right
brought
after
up.
they ate a
With it?
peanut.
I don't know.
Aaron brought up, in addition, the Draper Sterling deposits that were being made by Trump, the fictitious firm from
I
Mad
saw a
Men,
Mad Men.
headline.
and then there's like $35,000 being rattled in a
I haven't
fund.
seen that either.
I don't know the full story, all the ins and outs of it, but I'm sure somebody else can explain it far
It just
better
kind
than
of
I.
it just kind of hit a lot of this stuff hit the headlines at like 4 or 5 o'clock
Like
this
today,
afternoon.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in case you're wondering, for my Bernie people, yep, because he won't drop out, we're still spending $38,000 a day on Secret Service. I don't know if that amount is true, but we are still paying.
Oh,
Secret
that's where the
Service.
38K comes from. Got it.
Unbelievable.
I wasn't sure where that came from.
Unbelievable.
Got it. Carlson?
You know, we've wasted a lot more money on a lot of other stuff.
Yes, we have.
Yeah,
Let him take
but
it
Bernie's
to the
for the
convention.
people.
Let him take it. I
You know, he's for
I
the
know.
people, and he want that money should
I
be
can
going
sneak
for
a
free
candy
college.
bar.
How many free college educations can you get for $38,000 a
couple.
day?
Couple. Carlson,
You know,
Yeah,
you got a segment?
I mean.
Here we go.
All right, we're going to stay political for just a minute. As
Shocker.
The Senate rejects all 4 gun measures on Monday.
Thoughts and prayers.
Your thoughts
Yeah.
and prayers went nowhere.
Yeah.
I've got a story that has been kind of buried a couple of weeks in a row about Jeremy Jordan, of all
Oh.
people, and his cousin. Breaking
can I
news.
listen in the bathroom?
You can, yeah. Please do. No, it's not about him. Breaking news from the Facebooks, and I don't know. We'll see where we get.
All right.
I've got a couple of stories. So anybody that's been following kind of all of our social media for the last week or so, we know that Chris Murphy, the senator from where.
Oh, with the filibuster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking
I
it
feel
up.
like
Where's
it's
he from?
Michigan or Minnesota, but I
It's
think that's
no, it's
wrong.
where they shot all
Not
the
Minnesota.
kids.
Oh, Colorado.
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Can I?
Yes.
Nope.
Starts with a
Sandy
C.
Hook. Sandy Hook.
States that start with a C.
Is it a jackal? Is it a jackal?
Too many
Right.
shootings. Too many
Too many,
shootings.
right,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So, in an example of what I thought, like what I always thought government was supposed to be, this man, Chris Murphy, stands up and says, "You know what? We're just gonna keep talking about gun control and gun violence until." And their stipulation was because the Republicans had been blocking even voting on gun measures.
Right.
So he stood up for 14 hours, and a lot of it was really hard to watch. I watched actually quite a bit of it because I was home that day,
Okay.
and it streams live on the internet. So
Right.
was
Interweb,
like-
yes.
right. And you know what? I love nothing more than to waste an entire day sitting at my desk with like 4 screens in front
Nothing
of
wrong
me.
with that.
yeah.
You know, show tunes here, little Senate
Yeah,
here, you know, whatever, little Facebook's over there.
I feel like C-SPAN and Hamilton go hand in hand,
I think so.
like
They
dykes
sure
and
do.
dogs,
exactly
like thoughts and prayers.
Similar-ish.
They mean so much.
In any event, and there are a lot of great speeches throughout that filibuster that you can go on YouTube and go online and look up. Elizabeth Warren, of course, was spectacular. Was
And it wasn't funny that Bernie couldn't be bothered the first day of the revolution, and Bernie just
you know what? And I found that very interesting too. That it
tired.
just wasn't convenient to his
Yeah.
schedule to go and join.
hashtag only in it for himself.
Right, to go and join the Senate Democrats who are in the minority.
But it wasn't.
And
Which is why they
But
were
I guess
holding
it's not,
the
I guess
filibuster in
gun
the first
control is not a
place.
progressive cause, or Bernie was tired.
Right. He did show up to vote though. So
Right.
Oh,
And it was
so
the
we
first-
give him
Right.
credit for doing his job, just no
so
extra
the
credit.
end result was that Senate Democrats kept using kind of procedural loopholes to kind of hashtag hold the floor, which Game of Thrones fans very much appreciated
Okay.
from hashtag hold the door.
There's a lot of holding going on.
There
Hashtag
is, there is.
in.
I go back
I
to
know.
the sausage story from earlier. Is it?
But you know, as a procedural loophole, you know, if you've got other people on your team, they can. You don't have to stand there and speak the entire time. They can say, you know what, may I ask a question, and then you can yield the floor for a question without yielding the floor.
Okay.
Right. And so
And the good thing is they stayed on topic, unlike when Ted Cruz did it and
Green
he
eggs
read
and ham,
Green Eggs
right.
and Ham. Because our hero, Davis from
Oh,
Texas,
Wendy Davis from
Wendy
Texas.
Davis from Texas was forced to stay on message for her entire filibuster.
Okay.
Yeah.
She could not leave the topic of abortion rights
and
at
she
any
and she
point.
was on her own. I don't believe she had
And
any
she
help.
had any
she
help.
stood
She did
there
not.
the
This
entire
so,
time.
so she remains a
Right.
true hero for that. But this one stayed on message. But I'll
Yeah.
let you continue.
And this was a team effort, and you could tell. You know what I mean? The senator
not
after
Bernie.
senator. Well, not Bernie,
I like to shit on him like for a while.
Nothing wrong with that.
but no. Senator after senator stood up, and a lot of them were very moving. One of the senators from Oregon, I believe, where there was a community college shooting there,
Right.
was very, very moving
Okay.
about how this came to his state, and
That's right. I had forgotten about that.
yeah, and a lot of it hard to
Yeah.
watch. But the whole goal
Terrifying
was
to say that.
to break through the blockage of even allowing a vote
Right.
on any sort of anything, because the Senate doesn't vote on shit because nobody's working until Obama's out of office. Like
Yeah.
that's the bottom line. and
Making
that's the message.
$175,000
We're
a year.
At
taking our
least.
toys and we're not going to play in the
Right, and we're not going to play
leaving.
because the black guy makes a whole lot of sense and we look like
Exactly.
idiots.
Yeah. No, but no,
Absolutely.
we work for the NRA. Then
Right.
get your $175,000 a year from the NRA and give us our money back.
And get out, right.
And what was the crazy amount of money? And again,
Please.
didn't vet anything, but looking at the different things that were just on Facebook, that's the only place I saw it,
Mm-hmm.
with the amounts of money the amount of money that was going to certain senators, whether it be McCain,
Oh,
that
yeah.
over the course of time.
No, those
like
if you
8
find
million,
those,
something
they're,
kind of
they're-
crazy.
those are very true. The amount of money, and I think McCain is still because he's been in the Senate so long, that he is still the highest paid person by the NRA in the U.S. Senate.
Oh wow.
Well, 'cause
So,
it's year after
and
year after year after
Kirkpatrick.
year. Right.
And Kirkpatrick.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
Kirkpatrick, if you live in the state of Arizona and you're the sound of our voice and you
Yeah.
vote in Arizona, you're not disenfranchised. You can vote in November.
Please do.
Please vote
We
against
encourage
John
you to.
McCain.
Yes.
He is up for re-election and he got to go.
Yeah,
Yes.
he really does.
It's
Because he
about
is just the
time.
butt boy for the NRA. Like, he's the butt boy for a lot of bad people, but he is the butt boy for the NRA. And
Mm-hmm.
John McCain, buddy, And I love that I get emails from him like for support,
Do you?
and I just type back "fuck you" every time.
I love that.
Ooh,
God, I
And
really
they
love
haven't
that.
taken you off the list.
that's really weird.
I know. It's like
Nobody's
they don't read-
monitoring that mailbox.
Well, but during the filibuster, I sat down and I looked at who my representatives are, and I sent every one of them a letter that said, "Hey,
Good.
I'm a citizen in your state. I'm a voter. I live in Scottsdale, and this is what I think. Please vote for this. This needs to stop." And I posted whatever I wrote. I don't remember what I wrote. But no, that needs
And
to
that's
continue.
what democracy's about.
Right, that's what
Get
it's
a
about,
hold
and
of
that
your
needs to
congressmen
continue.
and senators.
Because believe it or not, if John McCain heard from all 5 million people in this city, in just Phoenix alone, however many million, I don't remember how many million we have, but if
Or
he,
all
if he
these
heard from all of us,
disenfranchised Bernie voters that are supposedly out there and weren't allowed to vote, if they all came together
Right.
and worked as a team,
Right.
there's your coalition, Bernie. Here's your first job. Get your millions of voters that voted and those that were not allowed to vote and tell the Republican Party and the NRA we still stand together.
sure.
And this is what we're doing. Like he had a big opportunity that he just crashed and fucking
Just
burned up.
shit the bed on.
If there's all these people
Absolutely.
voting your way and they all didn't get a chance to vote,
Yeah.
you can stand up and be heard, and it just didn't happen. And it's
Yeah. But in case you saw news about the filibuster, and in case you saw some of us, actually writing our Congress people and wondered how that turned out, well, on Monday they voted on 4 different bills that would affect the way guns are regulated and handled. One would have added more funding to the background check process.
right.
One of them would have alerted local authorities if someone who is on certain terror lists or watch lists attempted to buy a gun. One of them would ban all of those people altogether, and there was another one. But the problem is, and the Democrats are no better here, really. Because
They're very much in bed with the NRA as well.
Well, and not only that, the vote on Monday was very. Everybody just voted their own team. Because 2 bills were sponsored by Republicans, 2 bills sponsored by Democrats, and the votes are almost identical
Yeah.
for every single bill. And so everybody's just voting their own team. So, the moral of the story is all of those fucking people gots to go. Get
Yeah.
them all out.
Yeah, they got to go.
Get them all out. Because
If your allegiance
this-
is to the NRA and not
Right.
not to your constituents, then you have to go.
Well, even if your
Wayne
allegiance is
LaPierre-
just to your party
Yeah.
and not to the people who are writing your letters, you got to go.
Yeah.
We're done. You know what I mean?
And it really is
can't-
time to look and see, like, this whole thing about, this is the whole movement was supposed to be about corporate sponsorships and which lobbies you're against and special interest groups controlling the Senate. Everything that little group of people was supposed to be for just came to the forefront.
Just happened.
Just happened.
Right now.
The revolution started.
And there was no Bernie Sanders.
And there was no Bernie Sanders.
At all.
Nope, they're just whining about the DNC. That was your revolution. That is a progressive issue.
Can you imagine? Because as rabid as Bernie followers can be,
Yeah.
can you imagine if he'd have stood up
Yeah.
in the Senate, got national coverage, got on CNN?
At the height of his,
Right.
I have some leverage here. I have.
Well, his leverage is even declining, but you've still got all of these rabid followers
Yeah.
that think that you're still going to pull it out of your ass when it's just not happening. Mobilize them.
Yeah.
Mobilize your people.
That's what and I've been having fun trolling people's pages late at night. I'm like,
Yeah.
the revolution started yesterday. Where's your boy? Oh, is Connecticut too far? Or where's he from? Vermont?
Yeah.
Is Vermont too far away? Is that 30-minute plane ride? Possibly 45 minutes, depending on traffic.
It's rough.
Is that too much? With all your millions of dollars saved? Like, hell, you...
Can't make it. He had a full calendar.
We'll even let you bump up to first. You don't have to wear Gandhi's loincloth or homespun.
Had a full calendar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He really did. He
Politics are crazy
really
wicked.
did.
But good on you for doing that and writing.
Yes, and that's what everyone
And it's
should
time,
be
and
doing.
everyone needs to-
Everyone needs to do it. Find out who
Yeah,
your
definitely
local
do.
representatives are. The more local, the more
more
here in
influence.
Arizona.
And there
yes,
was
the more
that,
influence.
I believe you had stated it, one of the two of you, with that everytown.org.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know what?
Yeah.
Everytown.org is very cool. I went and made myself
And it lets
a
you
little
know.
OneNote page complete with links and everything,
Right.
so that I can just zip in and out of their websites.
And honest to God, don't be afraid to send a form letter. If
Well-
if you download the form letter that's available at the
On
it's
whatever
the
your
Brady Bill
issue is.
people, but the Brady Bill
Every town.
Google Brady Bill.
It's every town. They
Yeah.
get
Every
a form
town.
letter.
And
They
it-
have a form letter for you to sign. You just fill in your zip code.
Right.
And you fill in your state senator. Don't be afraid of a form letter. It works. The more they get,
Yep.
The more
And
they
as
pay
far as-
attention.
As far
Understand.
as calls, what I enjoyed about this is that it has the state senator's name, how they voted, and you can just click on this
and
thing
click on it and call now and do a live call.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get their
And that'll work
secretary.
from your
She
mobile
sounds
device.
a little bored.
Yeah, and
Or he. The person I talked to was a woman.
Sure.
And by the third call, she gave me her usual, got it.
Yeah, we got it. Sure.
Because I thought, well, 2 people that I know might have called, so I'll call for them.
There you go. Yeah. And the only other thing that I would ask people to do is when you are involved like that, share it.
Yes.
Tell others.
That's the time to use
your social
your
media.
social
right.
media.
That's. I mean, not when you've just cut your fingernails. That we don't need to know that on Facebook. But
right.
if you happen to have felt very strongly about something and contacted your senator, your congressperson, your state representative, whoever, share that, because it really does, even in a tiny little way, like kind of domino its way out. I know when I posted that I had written to the senators and Schweikert, who's my representative for the House of Representatives. I posted about it, and I had 2 people be like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that." And then it's the phone tree.
Sure.
I told
Yeah.
2 people, and they told 2 people,
They
and they
told
told
two
well, and it
friends, and they told
inspires
2
somebody
friends.
to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely.
So if you're already involved, please share that you are, and encourage other people to do so. If you're not involved yet, please get involved. Write a letter, make a phone call. It takes 0 time. It takes less time to post on Instagram than it does to call a congressperson and say, "Hey, you know what? I really think that we need to stop selling guns to everyone in the country."
Right.
Right. And I have Ruben Gallego, and I can't remember why I never remember that it's him.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was Laura Pastor.
That's city council.
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking about for.
Right, and I couldn't remember, but I knew that
Yeah.
I knew that I had met Laura Pastor
Right.
and we had talked about things. But I am in the 7th district, and it is Ruben Gallego.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
And always worth, and just to, even if you call the person, even if they voted the right way,
Right.
hearing you did the right thing
Yep.
may work. You don't
Sure.
know. We don't know.
We don't know.
Maybe we can keep Ruben from, maybe we can get him on the Bernie Sanders $27 small donations from the whole nation. He doesn't need
Sure.
to have a gun up his ass from the NRA. Like,
Sure.
it's just sickening. It's worse than, and I didn't think anything would ever be worse than Grover Winecrest? What's his name? Grover? The guy that makes them all take the pledge to never raise taxes or vote on any bill.
Oh, Norquist.
Grover Norquist.
Norquist, yeah.
Okay.
Just if you seriously stood there and swore on a Bible to defend the Constitution of the United States, but then you said, but I kind of made a pledge to Grover Norquist that I would never raise taxes. So these people, their hands are tied, and it's why they don't vote. It's because they sign these secret allegiances. Okay. No, your allegiance is to the American people and to the U.S. Constitution, not to some fucking special. Don't even get me started. But anyway, it's too late.
It's a lot.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's that particular soapbox. We'll move on to something. What should we move
Soapbox
on
number 2, Kat
to? Soapbox
Carlson.
number 2.
Bigger, longer, and uncut.
This time it's personal.
There you go.
Let's talk about Jeremy Jordan, because why not?
Oh, that smile. That smile.
Google him and look at that smile. Ugh.
Or listen to him sing, do what
I
you
know.
gotta do.
I've seen him interviewed. I think he may be dumb as rocks, but still, he sings.
But when you're that sweet.
He's pretty. And he was on a campaign throughout the month of May and into June to free his cousin from a Pray the Gay Away
yes, and
facility.
we have let this story go for a
We
couple
have, and
weeks. It's been on my
kind of
list
gotten,
too.
It's kind of gotten buried a little bit, but now he is celebrating his cousin's release from a facility where he says she was being held against her will. He says it's with absolute delight that I can announce Sarah has been released this afternoon from the boarding facility where she was being held. Your help and support has been instrumental in this achievement. We still are not sure what the next steps will be, but we had a huge victory today. Thank you for all your love and acceptance of my dear cousin, was the Facebook post that Jeremy Jordan posted, I think 2 weeks ago on a Thursday. He had, prior to that, set up a GoFundMe page to raise money to pay the attorney.
Yes, to get her released.
Trying to release Jeremy Jordan's cousin, whose parents had sent her to this Christian Pray the Gay Away camp.
For those of you who don't know who Jeremy Jordan is,
He's
there he
very
is.
pretty.
Oh, good. You got a smile. Oh, that's him at Newsies with that
Yep.
fucking goddamn
How
smile.
topical am I sitting over here?
You are right fucking on
Thoughts
it.
and prayers. Thoughts
Right
and prayers.
on
You can
top
even
of
play
it.
that Chariots of Fire theme song again. And I'll laugh when it's appropriate.
Now, his cousin Sarah's parents sent her away to Heartlight. It's an East Texas Christian boarding facility
Neil
for
Diamond.
troubled teens.
Turn on
Oh,
your
and they
heart.
named it after fucking E.T. That's even
Yeah.
more rude.
The GoFundMe page thanked more than 1,800 people who donated to it, and those 1,800 people raised $64,000 in just 5 days.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
The money will go to, as the lawsuit turned, first of all, it will go to pay the attorneys. And then money left over from that, they will use all of the money.
To get her out of her fucking house with her parents.
If there are funds left over, they will be placed in a trust for Sarah to help her with life's next steps so that she can attend college and lead a normal life, being who she is and loving whom she chooses.
I bet Broadway's going to be part of it.
I hope so.
I'm guessing.
They should.
Either way,
Somewhere in there.
good on Jeremy Jordan.
Yeah, and I put a link to one of his best performances where I just love him the most.
Which
Doing,
one? I've suffered
It's all
through it with
coming
you.
back. It's all coming back
Yes.
to me now.
Like a bad Celine Dion song.
You don't suffer through it. Well, suffer means to allow, so I'll give it to you.
Yes, thank you. I'm not saying it was bad.
Thou shalt not suffer.
It was one of those-
shalt not suffer.
It was one of those evenings when Al had too much to drink and slapped me in the arm every time. Look at him sing! Look at him sing!
I was here for
Watch
that.
him sing! Look, oh my God! It's
Losing my mind.
losing my mind. Right.
No, I'm too drunk to start on losing my mind.
And
I'm gonna need your thoughts and prayers to get through that again.
I
'cause
woke up the next day and my shoulder hurt so bad because Al had
Was it
beat
the Celine
shit
Dion
out of me.
medley? Because that's delightful as well.
No, that's what I posted to the room was the Celine Dion medley.
I love that one.
But I have to tell you, when he does, a friend of mine just wondered if Drew Barrymore lisps through her orgasms. Yeah, probably. I have to tell
mean,
you,
why not?
because as a crazy woman and former stalker, reformed stalker, I have to tell you that losing my mind.
I think we're using reformed a little loosely, but all right.
I'm going to go with
I
that.
think
Thank you.
there's 8 out of those 10 words were used very loosely.
Very good.
Swimming in someone's pool just 24 hours ago.
Look, she's crying.
It's all
But I
coming
have
back
to
to
tell
it
you,
now.
to get the Crazy Stalker theme song sung by the person you're stalking in an emotional upheaval, it's rough on both people,
Isn't that tough?
But only one of them knows about it.
and that's fine according to the rules. It doesn't matter if he doesn't know we went on a lovely walk on the beach together.
Right.
Just because I was hiding behind the bushes
Oh,
doesn't
Jesus.
mean I wasn't on the lovely walk down the beach.
Stalking is when two people go on a long romantic walk and only one of them knows about it.
Exactly. Sometimes I stand in the middle of my room, not going left, not going right. It's like I'm losing my mind. Oh my God, but seriously, I didn't post that. But if you find it, Jeremy Jordan losing my mind, hashtag
Oh.
Al needs a minute alone in the bathroom.
It pops up on my YouTube. Watch this again fairly frequently,
Oh.
and so I oblige.
I
and
did.
watch
Oh,
it
sure.
again, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's been
Because
a
we're
minute.
playing two women, one mind here. My actual phrase is, well, YouTube seems to know what's best for me, and why should I say no?
Yes.
Every
Why
time
should I say any
YouTube posts
differently?
something, I'm like, well, YouTube said it. It must
Right.
be true.
Must be accurate.
Must be true.
I should waste a long, long time. And you know who else was on that
Tell me.
Smash show? Was
Megan
Mr.
Hilton?
Burr, sir.
Oh yes, he was
Yeah.
Leslie Odom Jr.
A delight.
I can't wait for his album to come
Hot
out. It
Little
comes out
Dwarf.
soon.
Yeah.
Hot little dwarf. Jesus.
Did you know we had a Senator Burr? Did you see my Facebook thing?
I did not.
Is it
Yeah.
Raymond? Is it Raymond? Is it Raymond?
I
Is it
don't
Raymond?
remember his first
Still
name.
dead.
Is it Raymond?
But I about died because I saw
have
an
it?
image of how the Senate voted and everything while we're beating this dead horse until I move on.
Oh, Richard Burr.
Yeah. I looked at the thing and it said Burr from wherever he's from, and I'm like,
Burr.
Aaron Burr.
He's on
We
the
are
other side of
cold in
Georgia,
here.
trying to keep the colonies alive.
He can keep all of Georgia. Theodosia, she's mine.
All right, so what should we do? Are we done? Should we do thoughtful vulgarity so she can leave and you can breathe?
Well, she doesn't have to leave
No,
until
I'm
10.
All right, what's next? What do we got next?
Well,
Well, I was
I don't
gonna- I
think
was
she
gonna-
has. She's not done.
Oh, yeah, you had something else.
My God.
Well, no.
Nobody's on fire.
Wow.
Clearly the crowd is over it. Let's talk about that preacher that we
Oh, I've got-
talked about for a minute.
Yeah.
Marnie, I have that.
Okay.
Yes, we're ready
I
to go.
figured
We're
that
ready
you
to go.
did, yeah.
All right. Pastor Roger Jimenez. You may know him as the pastor that went around on the YouTubes and the Facebooks saying, am I sad about the people that died in Orlando?
Oh, this is
No.
the fuck chart I'm
Fucking
talking
happy
about.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
This is the guy,
fuck chart
yeah.
right here. Yeah, well, you know what? His property manager wants him to move.
Ooh, I like that.
yeah.
The property management company and owner of the building in which the Verity Baptist Church and its pastor, Roger Jimenez, preside, have decided not to renew the church's lease and have asked church officials to consider moving. The property management company and owner of the building have decided not to renew the church's lease and have asked them to consider moving. That's the same sentence all over again.
But I repeat myself.
Yeah.
3 times the same sentence. Let's see. While Harsh Investment Properties, owner of the Northgate Business Park, where the church
Harsh
is...
investment properties.
Yeah. Harschch.
Well,
I like it.
still.
Clearly.
Got it.
Cannot legally evict the church under the terms of the lease. Representatives of the property management company say that they cannot tolerate tenants who advocate hatred and the taking of innocent lives. We have many places of worship and other religious organizations in the properties we manage, said company officials. Like all our tenants, their occupancy rights are protected by their leases, so they can't actually kick the church out. However, they can strongly encourage them.
We can prompt you to let the door hit you in the ass.
Well, if they don't renew their lease, they just
Put a seafood dumpster right next to their front door. That helps.
Right.
I like it.
Officials from the property manager say they have communicated their views to the church officials, and while their lease does not expire until March 31st, 2017, the property managers have asked them to consider moving out of the business park. Managers noted, should church officials decide to go ahead and do that, their lease would be canceled without penalty.
Oh, they're a giving harsh company. They're not harsh at
They're
all.
wonderful, I think.
These are friendly people.
Yes.
On board.
No.
Oh, my thoughts and prayers are with them.
Yeah.
And mean them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep, so we're hoping, and at the very least, they're out March 31st of next year.
Yeah, well,
So sad.
And then they have to rely on the thoughts and prayers
It
of others.
turns out
Isn't it crazy to
being
think
an
that the
asshole
17 is
does
very close?
have other repercussions.
Oh, and I feel like
it does.
you did a story
about assholes.
No, but I feel like you skipped over a story about the angels.
I did.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I think you should.
I was like, I'll go to a one that's not as touching, but the ridiculous Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh, I loved that one.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it brings
do
us
that
back
one.
to Clea Duvall, because she's in the
Absolutely.
movie of said story.
Orlando
looked her up, I
Theater
love her.
Group builds angel wings to protect funeral from anti-gay protesters. And it was something going back to Matthew Shepard. They began making the rigs and sewing the fabric days ago in time for funerals resulting from the mass shooting at one of the Florida city's nightclubs. People also showed up to the funeral with huge rainbow flags to ensure family members of the victims would not have to see the hate-filled signs waved by members from the notorious Westboro Baptist Church. In the end, police ushered the protesters from the site to cheers from the hundreds gathered to support the family. The idea of the large wings dates back to the years to the 1998 Matthew Shepard killing in Wyoming and has been used at various funerals since then.
There's a very, very, very powerful movie called The Laramie Project. Might be on
Yes.
Netflix streaming. And
It really is amazing, Clayton.
it's an amazing movie, and it is about how the town of Laramie reacted to the Westboro Baptist Church being allowed by law to protest the funeral. And they do it through a play. Like, they're putting on a play to show you what happened in real life in Laramie. And Clea Duvall is in it, and it's just a beautiful piece of what people did peacefully to come together that allowed the Westboro Baptist Church to spread their hate. Speaking of speaking their name and giving them power, and what their reaction of love was to that, and how they shielded it from it. It was by making giant angel wings.
I just
so they
sent you a
could-
picture of them.
Oh, they could stand together with. You should put the picture up, because if you're not familiar with what the Laramie Project did to block the Westboro Baptist Church, it's really one of our finest moments as a people.
Because that whole idea that these WB fuckers, we'll call them that, they will go to, it doesn't matter if it's whether it's gay, whether it's soldiers' funerals. They
They specialize in
Anything to get
soldiers'
on the news.
funerals.
exactly, and they're so all over the map of hate.
Yeah.
Of
Well, they
hate.
really weren't getting the attention they needed as just protesting gay funerals, so they switched to the military.
Yep. And it went,
And that's when the military families were like, what? Why are we being called
Right.
gay lovers? Like, what's this about?
Right.
And then the Laramie Project came and helped them, and all of a sudden you
Yeah,
had people
perfect.
in cahoots. So they stand there with these giant wings to shield families from having to see the messages of hate at their loved one's funeral. And it's a beautiful, beautiful tribute.
and it's very peaceful rather than yelling back at
Right.
people.
And what a great way to convey.
Sure.
If you do have religious convictions, what a great way to convey it through a message of peace. And like, you can yell whatever you want to, but we're just going to put up this veil
Sure.
to protect the people in actual mourning from your hatred. Like,
Right.
it's a very powerful thing.
And at many different Pride events, you'll see, and not speaking of those funerals as Pride events, but at Pride events, you'll see the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence that'll stand there to kind of shield,
Yeah.
and just be so that people.
They're usually big
going-
girls, so.
Well, absolutely, but and it's not along the lines of the
Yeah.
but it's a matter of separating
Yeah.
that separation, and here's what we stand for, and making sure that doesn't have to come into
And
an
to fight
event.
hate with peace,
Yes.
it's just the right amount of irony, hypocrisy
Yeah,
on their
right.
point that you're supposedly you're the religion of love and you're just spewing hate, and these people you hate
Absolutely.
are just showing love in front of you.
and you're hurling
Yeah,
insults and hate and it's just
My
awful.
thoughts and
Yeah.
prayers don't go from them. I do have an update from Katie June.
Oh, good.
Do we have names? Because as of all the Facebook postings,
That's what
We had no names.
She says, well, I quote directly, only one officially has a name scoring, I'm assuming she meant according to the state of Arizona, Quinn Lillian, 5 pounds, 17 inches, born first at 8:44 p.m. on June 14th, I think was the date.
Okay.
Sure.
Baby B. Louise, think her name is going to be Cohen Louise, which is lovely. 5 pounds, 1 ounce, 18 inches, born second at 8:45.
Cohen.
What did I say?
Cohen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cohen. She had talked about that when she was
just
here.
soften that a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah,
Spelled
yeah,
the same.
yeah. Yeah, it definitely.
Both babies left the hospital having dropped into the 4-pound range. I don't believe I've ever seen such tiny babies in real life. They're both healthy, and we're all settling well. Thanks to the show and the chat room for the love.
Oh, good.
So,
Yeah, I sent her the like a picture of what everyone sent in the chat room.
but that's just fantastic. So, but don't forget, I suggested Louise. That's one of my baby names, Vivian and Louise.
Yeah,
Nicely
that's
done.
right. You did talk about that.
I
Well
always
done.
slip that into people's subconscious.
Yes,
I
just
love
gonna-
the name
I'm gonna
Louise.
plant this right here.
It's just so pretty. I don't know why I find it to be such a pretty name.
I don't know. It's a very pretty name. I like it.
Lou
Cohen. How am I saying that right?
Cohen.
Cohen?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Cohen.
You just made it a little harsher. You went Cohen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
How is that difficult for you? Sasha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, very good.
Like, how is that challenge?
I don't know. It's the last name I'd pronounce it Cohen, but I don't know.
Speaking of challenging, I may have a new
oh.
source of income.
Oh.
Oh.
No, it's selling jars of air.
I thought it was going to be
At Whole
boy
Foods?
model.
Is it going to be at Whole Foods?
Yeah, there you go. You can get those in Canada here.
Maybe. What am I being congratulated for? I don't know.
Oh, he was saying congrats to Katie.
Oh, Katie. Similar but different.
Yeah.
Sometimes why?
Nothing sprang out of your vajayjay.
Not today, sir.
Or ma'am.
A jar of air from a Stone Roses gig that, quote, still has a faint reverberation
Oh,
Faint reverberation.
okay.
of the lead guitar solo attracts bids. Now this is in England, so it attracts bids of £65,000, which is about $95,000.
Shut
Whoa.
up.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
An air sample taking at this concert has racked up bids on eBay of £65,000.
Crazy.
The seller, believed to be from nearby in Wales, claims in his listing to have taken the air sample during the band's performance of an iconic hit nobody cares about. The sample was captured as the band played said hit, and the seller even states that the air comes with a certificate of authenticity.
Oh.
Oh, good.
Well, it's really air.
It's almost better than thoughts and
I think
prayers.
it's- thoughts and-
If your thoughts and prayers-
certificate of authenticity.
Yeah.
Shit.
Despite
I
Drop the
can't
mic.
fight City Hall.
Despite having 5
Legal.
days remaining to sell on eBay, the jar has already attracted
Stop.
90 bids.
That's fucking ridiculous.
90 people
90 stupid people are out there.
They're Trump
throwing
voters.
their money away. The seller describes the item as having all the atmosphere, anticipation, and ecstasy of 60,000 people singing
there's
But you
their
can never
hearts out.
open
There's
it, or you'll get
ecstasy
all
involved.
I think the
Yeah.
90 people bidding on it may be on ecstasy.
ecstasy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a guess.
Oh my God.
Bidding for a friend.
Yeah, exactly, right? Well, you were talking about certificates.
Yes.
And I feel like
Segway
now is
City, look at this.
probably
With
the
props.
best time to hand these out. I have them filled out for us.
Oh. What are we
now,
certified
well,
in?
John Oliver
Is this
couldn't
John
be
Oliver?
here. Okay, John Oliver couldn't
I'm
be
a
here.
financial advisor.
You are
Yes.
actually. We all are financial advisors.
I saw this bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
thank you so
if
much.
could please
I would
give that
be
to
happy
Mr.
to.
McKee.
I am very disappointed that I did not print one out for
Congratulations.
myself, but
Well,
it's better to be for it to be bequeathed
I
to
feel
me.
like I should have
Absolutely.
shaken your hand
I
upon
think-
receiving
Oh,
this.
congratulations,
Very
sir
nice.
or ma'am.
Well done. Also, you are an elf spotter.
Yes!
Just so you know.
No!
Elf Spotting Academy, if you could give that to Clayton as well.
Well, congratulations.
We are
Oh,
all
thank you. I didn't even know I was nominated.
highest
We
of
are
elf
all
spotting honors has been.
elf spotters.
Is there an age that goes to
Well,
this?
we don't put that on.
I just
you
need a
know,
moment to wipe
I
away
know.
this emotional tear.
I didn't.
I want to thank my mom,
yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda,
Aaron Burr,
Jesus,
sir.
Love is love.
Jesus,
is
did you say
love,
Jesus?
Eliza.
Is love is love.
I do.
But I saw these elf spotter when I saw this, and he said, "And you can have it as well." And go to
Yeah.
John Oliver. I'm like, or the show. John, click on that.
And the
shit,
oldest,
and I
and the
had to
wittiest, and the
print them
gossip
off.
in New York City is Insidious.
I love. So the regents.
And Alexander is penniless, but doesn't mean I love many less.
The
Doesn't mean I
regents
want him
of
any
the
less.
last week tonight Elf Spotting Academy have conferred upon the holder of this diploma a Bachelor of Elf Spotting.
Oh, I wish my mom
degree
was alive for this.
with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining.
She's looking down
now,
on
we
you
don't
right
know
now.
what those are, but Ruthie is proud.
We don't.
We don't know what the fuck it is, but Ruthie is proud.
I think this would be the day that she said, maybe that's too much to drink.
Right. maybe moderation.
Alfie, honey,
But
you've had enough.
Yeah,
I like
maybe-
that
maybe
the
that's it.
financial
That's the line,
advising-
Ruthie. That's the line.
There it is. Yep, she found
Well,
it.
we found it.
The financial advising is my favorite after having, filed bankruptcy at one point in my life. I think that this is a delight.
Yeah, and it's yours.
Yeah.
It's all mine.
Well, and,
I'm
and,
going to put them in frames.
and listeners that are not frequent viewers
Mm-hmm.
of John Oliver's show, he did an entire fantastic segment on financial advising, which basically just outlined the fact that you don't have to have any qualifications
Nope,
to
not-
call
not-
yourself
not a
a
one.
financial advisor.
That's right.
We could literally start giving people financial advice and charging them for it.
And I think we
it's
should.
100%
now that we
legal.
have our certificate.
Was
You should send your money to info@qtalkamerica.com.
.com.
was another boyfriend mentioned this? Was Mr. Susie Orman mentioned it all?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Was she?
Susie Orman was a
She
part
was
of it.
worried about jackets. First
Oh,
jackets,
sure.
then family.
Well, her and Rachel
then-
both are
Yeah.
worried about him.
Yeah.
First money, then jackets.
Right. Can you
people.
afford the jackets? You cannot.
That's
Here's-
not a Susie Orman question.
Denied.
And I feel like
Denied.
I may be the first to draw this parallel, but does anybody see
Have they ever seen him?
a little bit of Susie Orman in Elizabeth Warren?
Oh, hell yes.
Oh.
Hell
good
yes.
call.
Same haircut,
Yeah.
same jackets.
Never seen them together.
Have you ever seen them in the same room?
See, look at that.
Oh my God!
And as an elf
a good
spotter,
call.
I feel qualified.
They're
To make that comparison,
Correct. Uh-huh.
Because just because you can spot elves, I mean, you can also spot other things.
I
Yeah,
have
but
to tell you, if
We'll
I
have to get a certificate. for
if
that.
I get the flu again,
uh-huh.
Yeah.
here's what I pledge. As an elf spotter and financial advisor, here's what I pledge to do for my
Pledge
country.
allegiance to
Yes.
the elves.
I will just watch. I don't even remember who did Susie Orman on Saturday Night Live, because in my mind it really was
it's,
Susie Orman. Was it Chris?
Bridesmaids?
Kristen Wiig?
Was it Kristen Wiig?
Yes.
Oh my God,
Jackets,
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 jackets.
Oh my God, that's such a fun sketch.
That used to make
Okay.
me tinkle in my pants a little bit.
It was very funny.
I'm really
Yeah.
drunk. This thoughts and prayers was really a bad
Thoughts
idea.
and prayers.
I'm so not even close to where you are.
No.
I wish I was.
No, not at all.
I wish I
That's
was.
good. It's fun.
Wait for it.
Thoughts and prayers. Almost.
I'm the one thing in life I can control. I'm just telling you.
Anyway,
I am in a
there
minimum.
are
I am an
certificates.
original.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you need me to get you frames, I will.
Oh, that's so nice, Martin. I'm
yeah.
going to hang this up in my office.
Absolutely.
Are you done
it's
beating
good.
whatever
Sure.
horses? Okay, what's your
Move
box
along.
of Punderdome? Whatever that is.
What's
What-
that? Well, we're going to have to investigate this.
Oh, it has this Punderdome.
It is
I just was
Punderdome.
being a dumbass.
I appreciate that.
You just tickled her little man in the boat a little
You
too
have
hard.
Isn't
no
this fun?
idea. That's exciting.
So Amazon, just
Not
put
the river.
put this in my face so many
Yeah,
times
yeah.
as a pre-order that I finally did pre-order this many months ago
I love it.
and forgot about it. And so
Oh.
my mail getter, the youngest child who loves to get the mail. I mean, whatever.
Well, it's,
Yeah.
it's short attention span theater. It's like,
Sure.
oh,
It
where's
is
the
short
box
attention-
back home?
Oh,
Done.
look at this.
Woo!
Right. So
Yeah.
he goes out to get the mail and comes back with a package, and I'm like, the fuck? I didn't order anything this week. Like, what the?
Secrets in the sauce.
I know. So
exciting.
now I have to learn how to play it.
I love
and it
bread.
has like I love bread.
I love bread
I eat it every day.
every day.
Have you seen my
Every
dusty muffin?
Day.
So I enjoy it already because of the pun.
Yeah, makes me
Jokes.
happy.
Why did the courtroom smell so fresh? It was full of judgment.
Oh, it's Jesus.
I
That's,
got one
That's really
really? You got one more?
bad.
Really?
more.
Judgment.
Read. There's a hyphen.
Oh, judgment. Oh, I
Yeah.
was not getting that.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That's
This
bad.
is- I know, isn't this bad?
Even I think that's bad. That's
What-
bad.
what-
The
what
support
time?
group is finally working.
I know. What time?
Step one.
What time should
Admitting
you?
there's a bad pun.
What time should you go to the dentist?
Decay. Something decay.
Tooth hurty.
Oh.
Oh God! Aaron would be so mad at me right now.
Oh, these hurt. These are
Oh,
painful.
she'd be so mad
These
at
are
me
just
right
the
now.
ones on
She
the
does
back
that
of the
one all
deck.
the
I haven't
time.
even
Yeah.
opened all the cards yet.
Oh my God!
Friends,
I love bread.
I love bread.
countrymen,
Bread
Oprah.
bakers.
All right. Friends, countrymen. Oh, that's Oprah over there.
Say her
Oprah.
name. Say her
Oprah,
name.
have I ruined the Tonys?
I speak
She
your
said
name.
I
Oprah, I
didn't
ruined it,
tell
haven't I?
you.
No.
All right, move along.
All right. So let's do thoughtful vulgarity, and then we'll end with a song that everyone has to buy. You have to spend $1.20.
And now, thoughtful vulgarity, where we in the studio try to make ourselves slightly less shallow, which is not hard to do. We will ask one question of the panel while fucked up drunk. Because you know at home how well it goes when important questions come up several hours after alcohol has been served. Politics, religion, why not? What could possibly go wrong? Who could you offend? Good luck.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah, hi.
All right. I saw this.
4 years,
I
same
saw
segment.
this. I saw this challenge. Shut up! Don't hit me with math. I saw this question online, and I don't have an answer yet. So Marnie gets to go first.
Oh goody!
So, two very close friends had this little challenge on Line the other day, and we all got to witness it due to social environs, if you will. If you were to like someone that you know very well, and you just wanted something like, what's the one song that you would want someone to hear that would just sum you up? Like, what's the one song?
This is a very big question.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, and it was two people that had known each other for like 30 years, and it was like, what's the one secret song that you want to tell as a secret to your like close friend that kind of sums you up? And the response that was on the
Like,
on the question
Guilty
was
pleasure or like descriptive of me?
like a little
Or
bit of
as
both.
friends that you would just like. That's the one song that your
No,
best
that
friend
you,
will
no,
think of.
no, that won't think of. Like what's the song that
Okay.
you're sharing that like this sums me up and you probably would never associate with me.
Oh,
and the
I was
thing
going
that-
in a different direction.
I know me
the
too.
thing
Yeah.
that the thing that fucked me up was like the song that the person sent back was like, oh, I did not see that coming. But so what's that one, and everybody play along and say one, the one that just kind of like gets your message across that maybe your friend hasn't thought of as something you would either like or.
Oh, happy horseshit. Thoughtful
That's a
vulgarity is
very
one
big
thing, but-
question. I know.
Fuck,
I feel like this is a take-home test.
We got 14 minutes.
That's fair.
Take
Well,
home
tw-
test.
Well,
Yeah, like-
13 of them moments of silence.
Yeah,
Moments of
and then we're
silence.
gonna have
Or
a,
Al and I
and then
singing
we're gonna
Hamilton.
finish with a song. We're gonna finish the show with a song this week, if I'm
Yes.
right. Yeah.
There you go, Amina. Holding back the ears. Okay. Fuck. This is just a ridiculously difficult
Yeah.
song. I mean, question. Think of a song.
If you had to put it out there to the world, and get rid of the best friend part, but
Jermaine Stewart. We don't have to take our clothes off.
no, that's fair.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Marty's going for never
There you
nude.
I thought about it.
And we
yeah,
just had the Method 1 clinic, so that's fine.
I'm
That's
fat.
fine.
I'm fat and old, so I can't be in Japan naked. So
Here's what I'm going to tell
I
you.
honestly don't know, but that's the first song that came into my head. So
I'm going to probably spend the next week and a half
think it. Yeah,
Obsessing
that one,
over this?
That one.
having different answers every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden I'm gonna
And
be
that's
like,
what
oh my god, in this song.
What the
Oh my
one
God, in
friend
this
said
song.
back to the other, and I
Yeah.
know I've known both of them for 30 plus years. I was shocked by the answer, and the response that came back was like, "Oh, you two really do know each other."
That's fantastic.
Because it was at 17 by Janice Ian, and I'm like, whose life does that describe?
Wow.
Who's suicidal?
I know, not me.
Actually, it would be. I know what it would be.
Go ahead.
It's still your turn.
Old Lang Syne.
Oh, nice.
That would be my song.
Ooh,
Yep.
ooh, I like that.
Yep. The one by
Doesn't matter.
it does.
Barry Manilow, just another Old Lang Syne.
No.
Guy Lombardo.
Nope.
How many people have recorded this song?
I can't think of his
Dan
name right now.
Fogelberg?
Thank you.
Oh,
Dan
just
Fogelberg.
another Old
Just
Lang
another
Syne.
Old Lang Syne. Yes. It would be. That would be it.
Okay.
Ugh.
Barry Manilow's is good too.
By the way, it's a delight. But having to choose one, so now don't fuck it up, because I'll go in 8 different directions.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Old Lang Syne is the one that, like, that it absolutely. But that
Yeah.
one, there's something about that one. That,
Okay, I'm just gonna shout out my first instinct when I first understood the question, and then I will spend the next week just continually posting signs onto social media. So if you follow me on social media, you'll just
Can you
know.
notify us when the intervention
Yeah.
needs to be enacted? Because
No,
I'm
we'll
sure.
be fine. We'll
I
be
feel
fine.
like we're gonna have to calm down, Kat. Calm down.
I'm with you, Meow Cow.
I feel like
oof.
we're just gonna go on a lovely journey for the next week. But the very first song that came to mind was Destiny's Child Survivor.
Okay.
Oh, yep. Uh-huh.
I like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there it is.
I like it.
because I'm not gonna give up.
Yeah. No, that's.
I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder.
Don't go chasing waterfalls, girl. Don't go chasing
Difference.
waterfalls. Oh, sorry. Bad.
Difference.
Different song,
Yeah,
different
that
song.
involves a dead girl.
Yeah, I know.
Super dead
Left eye,
and
left eye.
not
Left eye.
dead at all.
Super dead.
real,
His
still,
head is in a basket. You sure you
real
want to ask
dead,
it?
still dead. Something.
Should we under a tree?
You can have a choice. Yes,
Do whatever
Annette.
you want. I'm
Absolutely.
super dead.
You know, there's
France.
You know, sometimes you hear songs. We've talked about this before on this show, on this very actual show.
This one?
Not tonight, but I mean
Oh.
in general over
Here
the
you go. I
time.
have thoughts. I had a song. Oh, yeah. I got
You
it.
hear songs like I've heard this song for I don't know 20 some odd years, and it never struck me the same way. Then you hear it one day after a conversation with somebody else, and you're like, wow. And then the song, then you realize, okay, now that song has like 8 different meanings depending on how you hear it. And I Can't Make You Love Me. Be it either George Michael's version or Bonnie Raitt's.
Oh my god.
But when
sure.
I you know, it was just a song, and I never really cared about it. It was just there, and I didn't think about it. And you just sing the words, and then all of a sudden, you list the words. All of a sudden, change meaning all completely.
Sure. It's beautiful.
That and Copacabana.
I don't know. and I love that
Thoughts and
choice. I don't know
prayers,
who
thoughts
I
and
was
prayers.
singing to, but I have a very blurry memory of being like maybe a little intoxicated, like sitting on a kitchen floor, just scream singing that song.
I Can't Make You Love Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's he hates my voice, but in the real world where I sing a lot, I Can't Make You Love You is one of my signature
my
songs, and I
favorite
always felt like
in that real world, his neighbors hate his voice.
yeah, a lot of people do. But no, that's one of those songs that like because, and I know that when I sing it because it sums my life up so quickly in a couple different relationships that I bring a little bit of angst and horror to that song that makes it even worse to listen to because that, and I agree with that. Like that's one of those songs that like I can't like.
Oh. Excellent.
Beautiful.
Well
and,
played.
and,
Well
and, and,
played.
and it wasn't, and it's not from like a torch lost love thing. Part of it was like you realize, I can't make you like I can't make you like me even. It's like if you this is it.
Oh no, but like I can make you like me. I can't make you love me.
No, but the whole the gist of the whole thing was like, yes,
Yeah.
I realize I can't make you love me, but it's like this is what the package is.
Here in the dark in this final hour.
Yeah.
Like that song is it's devastating. And if it again, it's the Celine Dion syndrome, where if she remade that, it would be about the light switch, not
Or-
about
or
the
a car.
love. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, but that song is just gut wrenching.
It is.
Devastating.
And
Yeah.
it's very hard. Mine would be, and I thought of it as this came up because I've been thinking about this because it was on the Facebooks yesterday, the day before. But mine would be "Remember Me" by Diana Ross.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you're not familiar, I'll find a link and I'll try to get it in there as
love
we finish. But mine is.
Can you just spit some bars of lyrics, please?
May I have just a second
well,
to get
can you fucking have them? How much time do you need,
just
Al?
a second? Let me.
God damn.
Listen, Aaron Burr, sir. Have
Yeah.
a seat. Drop some knowledge.
Here we go. So I'll just give you a little touch. And we've done things with this before, where we did like what you would want played at your funeral or something like that, or what you would want to be remembered by. The lyrics aren't on this fucking page, so I guess I gotta type in lyrics. Okay, there's a whole fucking page of like every goddamn word in Hamilton. Okay.
Somebody's angry.
Remember me as a sunny day that you once had along the way. Didn't I inspire you a little higher? Remember me as a funny clown that made you laugh when you were down. Didn't I, boy? Remember me as a big balloon at a carnival that ended too soon. As a breath of spring. Remember me as a good thing. Like, that just to me is like, whatever it is, whatever shit went on, just a good thing. Like,
That's
I
nice.
tried to be good.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's actually one of those songs that I like. I've done it in drag a few times. It's just
Okay.
one of those things that a personal anthem, and I honestly didn't think of it till we were going around, and because at the end of it, I want to be remembered as kind of happy. Sure,
I think
and I
that's
may
good.
not have always achieved it, but kind of.
A little bit. I like it.
Yeah. So, all right. So we will leave you with Kat. You want to describe it, or who wants to describe it? Like the Broadway Cares.
The Broadway
Please
Cares.
go to iTunes and buy this song. All the money goes to the Orlando LGBT Pride Center, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
believe so too.
And it is Broadway Cares. It is people currently on Broadway, formerly on Broadway, big stars, big names. The video is spectacular.
People that sometimes just touch Broadway, like everyone
Everyone.
is in
think
this
that that's-
somewhere.
And it's just a good message to leave with this week, I think.
Beautiful.
All right, so we'll leave you with that.
We'll leave you with this. Good night.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone.
Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone.
Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow.
There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine.
Oh, listen, Lord,
If you wanna know, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
no, not just for some.
But for everyone. What the world needs now needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs love, what the world needs love. What we need is love.
You've been listening to